Welcome, welcome everyone to the 101 edition. Should I just say first edition? No, I can't say first edition, right? I got to say 101, right?
First century,
First. What did I do
or
here?
yeah,
I thought
100
you
is
were
a
just gonna
century.
say 101st Airborne
101st,
Division.
101st. There we go. 101st edition. We got to pass that milestone last week, so thank
100.
thank you everyone for joining us for this journey so far. As you can see, we got a new guest today, Mr. Ryan from Ascend AV. How are you, sir?
I am doing okay. I didn't tell you guys this, but when I was working in the garage, I have a lift in there and I stood up forgetting that I had a lift for some reason. And steel does not get out of your way very fast, if at all.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So I hit it hard enough that my teeth made noise. And
Oh,
it was rough. And I had to just sit there for a moment. But funnily enough, I don't have a goose egg. There was no blood, so
wow.
I didn't die. So that was a win.
Mm.
So that was my day. Stream this morning talked about speakers and compression and the shootout, or not shootout because it wasn't a shootout. The comparison we did on Sunday with the projectors, and yeah, just been trying to get stuff dialed in for the weekend.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I listened to the show this morning. I'm a couple episodes behind, but we'll get into all that as far as like where to find you and all that stuff. But how was your week? Other than that?
Lots of redoing my garage, and lots of I have made it my mission to make the house more organized. So yesterday was all about refiling paperwork, which is stupid boring, and going through my books for my businesses and making sure that they're all in line. And otherwise my wife will get mad at me. She's like, you do all of this stuff and you want to do all these new things, but you can't even make sure that the boring stuff is done. And she's right. She's absolutely right. So I made sure that that was dialed in well as I can do. She obviously does a better time than I, but that's been my week. It hasn't been a very exciting week. I got a customer coming in this weekend to see the theater, which we'll see the theater, I think, a little bit later in the show. And that's been my week. Not all that exciting.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know where to find Ryan, he's on the AV Experience YouTube channel, and where I was catching most of the time, just until recently. Sorry, and I apologize. I just recently became a subscriber to your channel, but you guys, I was checking you guys out over on Jonathan's channel. So you guys streamed the podcast to both channels, correct?
It's because Jonathan's more important than I am. He is a more critical player in the AV industry, unbeknownst to many. So I'm glad that Jonathan gets the respect and the spotlight that he deserves.
Yeah, I was like, because you were talking about you were going to start doing solo stuff on your channel, and I'm like, well, what the hell's his channel? Let me go try to find it. So I had to go back, and I was looking all over the place, and finally found it in one of the descriptions. I was like, oh yeah, great. So now I actually watch your channel.
Now the channel's fairly young. I mean, it's not an old channel. I started it, I think, this year or maybe late last. I wasn't doing anything with it for a while, and then a couple weeks ago, I just said, you know what? I'm bored and I need to be doing something. I need to be proactive with this, and started doing more of the solo stuff and going back to more of streaming consistently. So I used to do Combat Flight Sim. I would stream almost every day for many hours. That was my living. I stream professionally on Twitch. So the streaming is not new to me. But doing it on this side where I'm not having something to talk about actively happening in front of me, it's a little different. I like interacting more when people are talkative and they're talking and I'm answering questions or interacting with chat. That's what I've gone back to doing when I was doing the Twitch stuff. But it's nice. People are always saying, oh, you'll burn out. I'm not going to burn out. This is nothing. Streaming for 40 minutes in the morning is nothing when you used to do it 8 hours a day.
Dude, I gotta say, I've watched you. You can see that, like I told you before show. I got to catch up on a couple of them, but I've watched a bunch of them. And you guys just, I mean, I don't know how you just go on and talk alone. I can't do it. It's like, I've not tried it, but I'm if I don't have anybody to interact back and forth with, like these guys here, I think I'm dead in the water myself. for
So it
sure.
is a acquired talent. I sucked at it when I first started the Twitch stuff, but you learn how to do it and you learn how to live on the frontal part of your mind where you're not filtering as much. I have very little filter anyway, so I'm able to just kind of cruise in that way. But it gets even harder when you're trying to live in that space and not use fillers. So trying to teach yourself, hey, how am I going to talk this way without using any filler words? Because they can get super distracting. So it's an acquired talent. I did it for a long time. It's like the home theater journeys, right? People assume that when you get to a certain point and you put it on screen that, oh, you did this immediately. Same thing
Right.
happened with cars. Same thing happened with any hobby. If you're really far into it, everybody looking from the outside, looking in, thinks, oh, well, he just went out and bought that last month. And forget that this is all of these different pathways and all of these different hobbies or whatever you're doing. They're all journeys leading to where you are now. And talking for a long time is the same thing. I mean, I did Twitch for, when did I start Twitch? I started Twitch in like 2015 and then stopped in 22. So I did it for 7 years, almost every day
Wow.
for
Did
8
you
hours.
Make a good living at that?
No,
Okay.
it was enough. I was on Social Security disability. I got hit by a delivery truck on a motorcycle. So that is what kind of kept my mind sharp. It allowed, I had a head injury or brain injury. And that I credit a lot of the Twitch stuff with allowing me to recover the way that I did because I was using it. And I think it is absolutely true where if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. And that helped, I think, instrumentally in my recovery. So it sucked at the beginning, but the suckage at least paid for that hobby. I mean, it
Yeah.
paid for the flight sim stuff where I wasn't pulling it out of our limited income. So that was good. I mean, I wasn't making a living, I would say, but it was nice
Okay.
side income, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, hey, every little bit helps, right?
Yeah.
For sure. For
Yeah.
sure. So, you partake in any movies this week?
I watched Prey.
Mhm.
Preparing for the new one?
No, so Jonathan and I every week we pick a movie typically. Before that, it was Sicario. This time it was Prey, and I enjoyed it. It's not as good as the first Arnold Schwarzenegger Predator,
Right.
but it's fun. I think it's filmed well. It's different, which I really appreciate. It's not just, hey, we're going to reboot the franchise and try and come back and do the same thing, but slightly different. It's totally different, which
Yeah.
I appreciate. It
That's
keeps
what I
the
like
same
about it.
bones, but it is totally different.
Yeah.
That I don't know what's going to happen. And I liked it. I liked it. It was a B movie. B.
Yeah, I enjoyed it myself.
And then I watched Appleseed, which is off of a manga.
I've not heard
It
of
was
that.
a late or mid 20 teens movie, and it was bad.
Okay.
Really?
It was bad. The art style was not good.
Oh,
It was
gotcha.
just, the story was awful. I kept checking, thinking, am I watching a dubbed version of this? And I couldn't find one that would say that there was a Japanese track. So it was just bad. It was bad, bad, bad. Did
Is
not
that
like it.
anime?
Yeah, it was in the art style more of like Final Fantasy, their kind of stuff. So I don't know. It's not a traditional anime, but it's had that feeling. And then I started Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters, which I have not finished. So we'll see where that goes.
Is that it right here?
That is Appleseed. Yes. There's several different versions. I did not watch the 2004 version. It was a mid-teens version that I watched,
Okay.
and it was not good.
Mm,
Not good.
gotcha.
What else did I watch? Have I watched anything else? No, that's where I left it. I need to watch Nobody and Nobody 2. That's on the docket for this weekend. What about you guys?
I've not seen any of those either. So how about you, Paul? How was your week, sir?
This is good. Work as usual.
You're still wearing your Chiefs jersey after that beat down.
Yeah, he actually went into a coma
Yeah.
and he's wearing the same clothes.
Yeah, exactly. It never happened. I'm still waiting for the game. Yeah, I watched movies just in the driveway, like 3 of them actually, while we were handing out candy and beer on Halloween night.
Oh,
Which was like, what did we watch? We watched The Walls, I forget, the House with the Clock in the Walls. And
Never seen that.
I haven't either.
That sounds
It's-
more like a
it's-
description than a title.
yeah, it's a funny movie. It's not like amazing, but it's something the kids can watch as well. Kids probably would think it was
Jack Black.
Yeah. So it's a comedy, but I watched that, and then we watched Gremlins, and then Addams Family.
So what do you got? Like a what did you shine it on the garage?
No, I just shined it on the side of my white trailer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you see that I don't know if this was trolling, but supposedly Gremlins 3?
Yeah.
In
It's supposed,
27?
there's supposed to be a new Gremlins coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
So
Yeah, I saw some footage of the since you spoke about Prey, I saw some footage of
I really liked Prey. Maybe I liked it a lot more because I thought, oh God, this is gonna suck ass.
It did not
because-
suck.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, this is pretty damn good. I really liked it. And I thought the audio was pretty good, and
Supposedly Predator Badlands is pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I saw some footage of like people dressing up in the theaters and stuff like that, and a 4DX theater.
Mm-hmm.
Walking through for the premiere and stuff like that. It looks pretty good. We have a cool 4DX theater, and I've not seen 4DX yet, so I'm thinking I may treat
may be
myself and go
distracting.
check that out.
So my concern with looking at how other people have looked at the movie, and people have said it's favorable. I'm actually doing on one of these solo streams that I do a topic of how people view movies differently. It is so wildly different
Yep.
with how people view these films and different pieces of media. A great example of this is the latest Superman. There were several people that said it was a good movie.
Mhm.
I almost turned it off because it was that. I never turn movies off, and I almost turned it off.
Oh wow.
So, and that's happened quite a bit recently. Like people have said that the new War of the Worlds was good. It was awful.
No, the one with Ice Cube.
Yes,
Oh no,
that was so bad.
that
It has to be one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
was
Yeah.
that was.
That was
I,
horrible.
It
I
is
have to
worse.
agree with you.
Than Battlefield Earth, and that is a low bar.
Yeah, and the older you get with that, a lot of the times, I think I've talked about Bloodshot and I was like, oh my God, that whole thing has been done like 4 or 5 times already. And it's like, okay, there's a little bit more CGI in this one. So it's cool CGI, but the whole plot of the movie is like, yeah, it's been done like 5 times. So in that instance, like Miguel seen it, he's like, oh, I thought it was really good. And I was like, well, have you seen this, Super, all these other movies? And he was like, no. And I was like, oh yeah, you're younger than me. So if that's your first take of it, you probably thought it was amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
The only reason I like the new Superman, not because it seemed like they were trying to go back to like the original 70s versions and 80s versions of the original Superman,
Yeah.
and not make it
I'm kind of
So-
50-50 on that one because
but they
No.
they didn't quite get it good enough. So it
Yeah.
wasn't like amazing. It could have been a lot better to me.
But my
So-
question is for Ryan and for you, Paul, would be, do you not like it? because the movie is just not that good, or because you're comparing it to the previous ones?
I don't
Um,
really think about other movies when I'm partaking in that. I don't compare them. I just thought it sucked.
I compare. I
And that's good, right? Like
Mm.
independent of, because sometimes that comparison can
well
blur, right?
in
How you feel about a movie, right?
yeah.
Because it's like they always say, prequels or sequels are never as good as the first ones,
Ye-
right? In a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah, I
cases.
know what you mean there. And to that I would say I'm not necessarily comparing it to the other movies. I do see the comparisons and that's what I liked about it, where they were trying to make that similar, but they fell short. But in any Superman or superhero movie, you're comparing it to the comics.
So
You know,
Big
so
Street's agreeing with you, Ryan. Also,
yeah.
Superman was bad. So look, I mean, I watched it, and actually, it's not saying that it was bad, but
Yeah.
I did fall asleep on it. So,
Oh yeah.
um,
I didn't think it was that bad.
I'm not saying it was so bad, but I
Bad.
fell
It's just,
asleep.
I didn't make it through.
right. So I did fall asleep, and but it was interesting enough that I said, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go back and watch the part where I fell asleep and watch it. You know, I thought the audio wasn't bad. There's a lot of people talking about that there was no bass, there's bass and stuff like that. So I didn't think the audio was bad. I just had a problem. I'm not a comic book fan, you know, so I don't know what's right and what's wrong, you know, with the movies when they make these superhero movies and stuff like that. I think I might have read one Spider-Man one Spider-Man thing. And speaking of reading, Ryan sent me this stuff on ABS Forum, and for his theater build out, and I told him and Eric the other day I don't like to read when we were on the ABS Forum show. So speaking of that, and comic books and stuff, but yeah, so getting back to that, I went back and watched it, and there was a character in there that I just I didn't. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but I thought that I thought the character was used way too much. But yeah, and I don't remember that being really part of Superman, but I could be incorrect, like I said, because I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's the
I
part
don't know
that we're
I
kinda
don't know
like, eh.
the full thing, right? So
But anyways, so I think I was told that I have new beers every time, and I was like, I've been slacking on that. So tonight I'm bringing some.
broccoli,
Yeah, I'm bringing.
extra broccoli.
It's like everybody's like, I come up with a different flavor. I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't even shown half of the ones that I drink. Like, here we go. And this is actually from WeldWorks, Colorado, which is one of my favorite breweries. So,
Very nice. That looks
but
very
anyway,
psychedelic.
yeah, well, yes.
What's the percentage of alcohol?
This one's like 8.5.
Oh yeah, you'll be on the floor in a little bit.
Yeah, and it's a tall one. Oh, I've got another one. I got one for you. You said, did you try the Welch's? The Welch's vodka?
Oh, I have not tried it yet, but I do want to find it.
They have cranberry
Oh wow.
too. So
All right, before we move on, let's say hello to some people in the chat. Hey, Miguel. Let's see. We got how are we going to say that? McJack 60? McJack 60 Flats. Carl. C Big in the house. What's going on, Chuck? Big Street Cinemas. MKH Audio. And Jake Marsh. Thank you guys for joining. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Thank you so much. So yeah, every week you seem to forget your movies, Paul. But anything else to add? Anything else that you can remember to add?
I do forget them. I watched.
We're gonna buy him a notepad and a pen.
Yeah,
so he can
I watched.
write in the damn movies.
Yeah, I know. I do have to write it down. I watched a bunch of Only Murders in the Building and finished that series. I did get a couple movies, so let me see. You already seen the Godzilla Shin one, but I also got, and I was like, I haven't even heard of this movie, but I got this, mostly because green's my favorite color. But I was like, dude, I've not even friggin' heard of this.
Avengers.
There we go.
So I thought, why not? And it's
You gonna
got
watch that while drinking your broccoli beer?
Yeah.
yes,
right?
exactly.
matches.
Thank you for noticing.
Broccoli.
And one of my favorite animes, they finally released the full. I've been trying to collect this, but
Avenger
it's
Bros.
hard to find. But they released the whole set. It's only in DVD, even.
So are you gonna open that?
Yeah, I'll open it.
I mean,
Dude,
if you've
the
been
minute I
hunting,
open this, it's like
if you've been hunting it, why don't you just
because I got to put it
get
on
a
the
second
old,
one and
that this is the reason. That's the reason right there why I went digital media, because I hate changing like 400 discs when you're watching, like an anime where they're like 15-20 minute episodes, and maybe you watch a couple hours. You might change the disc several times. Nowadays, they have the 3 or 4 layered discs, so you don't have to do it as much. But back in the day, my original digital media was with Tonki Media, if anybody knows what that is. That was like pre-Plex era. So, and it had all the, you could do the poster arts and all that stuff for yourself. So it was all local though. You had to manually create everything.
So how about you, Ike? How was your week?
it was good. It's been a very busy week, all work and very little play, but here we are. But this week I went the TV show route. I tend to do more TV shows these days than movies for one primary reason. I can't stand the movies just end after 1 hour, 30 minutes, and I'm like, what's next? So I tend to watch a lot of TV shows because I like the continuity. I watched Hostage. Yeah, on Netflix.
Hostage and Hostage are two totally different.
I know, right? Hostage. One is British, one is American, whichever. But it's a British political drama style stuff, kind of something that I really like. And then I started watching the new season of The Diplomat. Really, really good shows on Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Really, really good shows. Obviously, they're not.
Thriller series.
Yeah. They're probably, well, I think The Hostage, you will probably enjoy your home theater with it. I think it has some really good, when it comes to just the sound and things like that. The Diplomat just is exactly what it sounds like, right? Diplomatic type stuff. So don't expect.
Did you ever watch House of
subwoofers.
Cards?
I started it. I could never finish it.
Okay. I enjoyed House of Cards. I liked
I
it.
could never finish it.
It has way too many seasons.
Yeah,
Way
it does.
too
You're
many.
correct.
Mm.
The first season was great,
Right.
unpredictable. Then it
Yeah.
just fell into one of those seasons and series where
Yeah.
it felt like they were just getting themselves in trouble. And how are we going to get out? How are we going to lie and cheat our ways out? And then repeat
Yeah.
and do the same thing.
Repetitive. Like, oh boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Has
First
anybody
season was great.
finished watching the Penguin series? I started watching a couple episodes and I was like, no.
I didn't start.
Is it new
Yeah, I was like, I
season out?
can't. This is
No, the original's out, and they actually sold it on Kaleidoscape too. But I started watching like 1 or 2 episodes, but then I didn't finish.
I just didn't know if you ever got back into it. Because the first couple of episodes, I was like,
They said everybody says it's slow. The first couple
that's
episodes.
what I heard. And I was
Said
like,
that it's
I can't
really
get
slow,
past
and that's
that.
look.
Third
I get shit for this all the time from everybody I talk to. Breaking Bad, the first 2 or 3 episodes are so slow for me. I cannot. I tried to rewatch it 3 times, and I just can't get past episode 3. But everybody says what a phenomenal show it is. It just drags for me those first 3 episodes that I have to catch back up and remember. But yeah, so. No, yeah, I enjoyed House of Cards. Like you said, though, Ryan, it did drag out way too much for sure.
It became too predictable for me.
Mhm.
At some point, I could almost tell. And after that, I'm just like, you know what? I'm done, man. I don't want to watch this anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, I got a bunch of stuff.
Wow.
I didn't watch a bunch of stuff, but first off, want to say thank you to DJ for inviting us, all 3 of us, onto his 24-hour podcast. So if you guys haven't checked that out, over on Brightside. DJ did a 24-hour podcast, and he did it for a good cause for Movember. So all the proceeds you can donate. Just listen to the podcast, and it'll tell you how to donate and stuff for Movember. But yeah, this is his third iteration of it. So I probably listened to on Saturday. I want to say I probably listened to about 19 hours of this 25 hours. So I enjoy it. Every year. I really do enjoy.
Did you
this,
make
but-
it back to the part where I joined later? that night?
Absolutely. I
And
actually
I talked
listened
shit
to it.
about you guys. No.
Yeah, you did not. But
Oh,
I actually,
didn't know. Are you
I
sure?
actually listened to it. Listened to it twice. From when you went back one. You were on there for quite some time on the second stint, like almost 2 hours or so, right?
Yeah, that's a little
Yeah,
bit.
I got your text message and I got an email text from DJ with the link. And I sat on the bed. I was like, oh man, let me just rest for a little bit. And
Yeah.
I'll hop back on. And Felicia was like, bad idea. Don't even try it. And I was like, no, I'll be fine. Oops.
Yeah. So I
You
was going to
wake up
join
to-
back, but
You wake up to 6 a.m. It's like,
I was going to join back. I woke up at like because I was actually listening to it Sunday morning at 6 a.m. when he actually went like a half hour over.
hour over. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was listening to it and commenting and stuff like that. I didn't feel it was a good place for me to join back in. I mean, he had some like, movie makers on there and stuff like that. It wasn't like your normal podcast people. So, but yeah, so that's the reason I didn't join back in. But yeah, I mean, listen to the second stint of yours, Paul. You did really well on there. So good job on that. As far as movies, I watched one last night, which was, I mean, it was weird, man. It was just a weird movie. But the home theater experience, definitely check it out. So I watched Death of a Unicorn last night. I've been wanting to watch this for a while. I've been wanting to watch this thing for a while. Steve from Brightside recommended just for the home theater experience mainly. And I think he did like it, but I mean, there were some parts the Atmos was going crazy in. And I mean, I can highly suggest it for it's like a moonfall, right? I can suggest it for the actual audio, but for the story, maybe not so much.
Yeah,
But-
5.9 is pretty low on IMDb. Just saying, because Silent Night, the movie that I thought was the worst movie I have seen in like a decade, it got like a 6.5 or something. I was like, what?
Did you finally get to watch Sound of Music, Paul?
I have the
4K?
4K. I have not watched the 4K yet, but it's on the list. It's in the hopper.
So yeah, so if you're looking for a good home theater, have you checked that one out yet, Ryan?
Nope. It's on my list.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a good home theater to work, give your speakers to work out. There's bass. There's good pannings and different sounds coming from everywhere. I would say leave your mind at the door, right, and just watch it basically. But it was just I'm a horror fan. There really wasn't any real jump scares or anything like that. So, but it was okay. Let's just
It
put it
didn't
that
look
way.
like a horror movie to me.
Yeah, there's a little bit of gore and
Oh,
and
gore
stuff.
doesn't. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
quantifies.
And then I decided to go crazy.
Oh,
So let me key myself in here.
Oh, baby.
ah,
Kung Fu
Perfect.
Panda 3D.
oh,
Jeez, did you buy that from Germany?
nice.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you had to order that one.
I had to go from Germany.
Yeah, the tag right there. Tells
These
Yeah.
are all Turbine, all from
Mhm.
Turbine.
Wow.
So Scream in 3D.
Is that Scream 6 or 5?
I think it's just regular Scream.
Mm.
I don't know. I have to check it out. It says New York rules. This is the fourth Despicable Me in 3D,
That's probably
And-
pretty good, actually.
and then got Fast and the Furious 9 in 3D
Oh
also.
my god.
That is gonna piss me off. What I already don't like this particular 9. Watching it in 3D is just gonna, it's just gonna piss the hell out of me. I'm
So
not
they
even
had-
trying.
There's so many and they blend together. I forgot which crazy stunt was that one. They weren't riding missiles on that one, were they?
I just that number 9. I don't even remember. Like you
They
said,
ride
but that 9
missiles in
just
one of these.
pisses
Yeah,
me
dude,
off.
yes.
Oh my
Well,
God.
torpedoes technically, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
You got to suspend your
they
reality.
Turbine. I don't know if you guys know, but Turbine's remaking a lot of redoing a lot of these in 3D. So they had like a deal. I got 3 of them for like $80, and then I just added one more one. But they try to sell them in packages of 3, and they give you a decent deal for sending them over and everything else like that. So
That's the tall wine shop. That's where you get it.
Turbine, yes, Turbine, yeah. So if you're I heard Ryan say the other day he's not really a big 3D guy,
No.
but I tell you what, I convinced somebody. So Mr. Abe was in town. So Abe is Senor Dusty. Ryan, I don't know if you remember Abe from CD or not,
Mhm.
but yeah, so he was in town. He was down here visiting his partner. His partner lives in Boca. So he came over and we probably had about a 5-hour demo session. So we were checking out all kind of stuff, and I had a bunch of meetings for work. So he actually left about 1 o'clock and then came back about 4, and we dove into the 3D realm, and we were sitting there, and I put on Alita Battle Angel.
That was
And-
good.
Oh, that's another movie I just watched recently.
Gosh,
Yeah.
man,
Oh.
I'm telling you what, the depth on the street when they go outside in the beginning, Ryan, I don't know if you remember, but after she's
Yeah, I
trying to
remember.
figure out who she is, and then they go out into the
Mm-hmm.
town. I'm telling you, the depth in the 3D in that is so amazing. It's like you're standing in the middle of a city.
What
That's
projector
how-
do you have?
I have the NZ8 with Illumigen.
I need to try it because the Christies are supposed to be freaking ridiculous when it comes to 3D.
Yeah, you got the brightness too.
Yeah, you
And I got the brightness,
too.
but they have some insane frame rates because they'll do it at commercial level. I mean, it's a commercial
Right.
projector. So I need to probably try it. I never bring myself to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not a 3. I can't see it, so it's pointless on me.
So Abe, literally, we were watching this movie and about 40 minutes went by, and he was like, "Man, I didn't realize we were watching all." He was so immersed into it, like because he sat up in the front. I got a 160-inch screen, so he was 10 feet away from it, just totally immersed in it, in the middle of it. It was. I think I brought one back. So, but yeah, he enjoyed it for sure. I mean, we did Ready Player One in 3D. We did Dune in 3D.
So you played a bunch of 3D and then Oro 3D.
No
You know,
Oro
what else
3D.
did you bring out?
But you know what I did do?
Bring out some Betamax and
you know what I did find out is because I was going to go through the trouble of remuxing.
Oh yeah.
I was going to go through the trouble of remuxing the 4K Atmos track with the 3D Blu-ray. But I tell you what, my Lindorf was up mixing the shit out of these, and we were switching back and forth from the Kaleidoscape to the Blu-ray player that I had. I got the Panasonic, and I mean, I think that the upmix was better than the 4K. So it was doing really well. So I've just saved myself a bunch of time.
What's your favorite?
As far as
3D immersion, not
As-
movie, not
so,
audio.
I can tell you what everybody says is Shark Boy and Lava Girl. I don't have a copy of it, and that gives you all the pop out and a lot of depth and everything else. They're going for about $150. on, you know, to buy one. So
Yeah.
I don't have a copy of that. I will say for me, Alita Battle Angel is and Pacific Rim are fantastic.
Oh, Pacific Rim, Jonathan's favorite.
Yes. you enjoy that movie though, right?
I love
Rim?
Pacific Rim.
Yeah,
It's one of those, if I ever see it on, I'm going to stop and watch it.
right.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a good movie. Yeah.
It's not a good movie.
The 3D
I love
is really good in that also. If you I would highly suggest it. So I got about 130 3D movies, but I can't say that I've watched all of them. But I'm definitely going to start partaking in the more 3D, and I don't use obviously the Kaleidoscape don't have 3D. I wish they would implicate it, because I would definitely buy the 3D movies. I think that's one of the flaws. However, the projector companies and the TV companies think differently from me now, because even Epson is starting to eliminate 3D from some of these projectors. I was glad to see that the new Valerian, I think it has 3D, right?
That I don't know.
The Max,
I believe so.
I think it did.
Yeah.
I thought I
it's
was
one of
looking
those.
at it.
Might as well throw everything at it. I mean,
I'm gonna look it up real quick and see if it's got it. The Vision Master, because I'm curious to see if it has it or not. You guys just did a review with the Valerian, right, Ryan?
I wouldn't say it was a review.
Not a review. I apologize. Like kind of like not even a shootout, but a side by side.
Yeah,
right?
we did a comparison that featured it. And actually, one of the guys just messaged and said he made some changes to the Valerian and was able to get a little bit more color out of it. And it helped. He effectively, I think, boosted the color in the settings. So it's got more intensity now. He said it's probably closer to what the JVC was doing. And if that's the case, I would look at it more favorably. I still can't do it because I can see the RBE. It's not pleasant for me. I get fatigue watching it.
Yeah, it's got active.
Not as
3D.
bad as Jonathan, but I can't watch it. But I think it's a lot better than when we when we looked at it the first time. I think if you're going to buy a projector for underneath an LS12000, this is the projector to get. At least from what I've experienced. I don't have a lot of experience in this realm of these types of projectors, but it did well.
Very good. Yeah, so if you guys haven't checked out Ryan's show, make sure you go over and check it out. They did I guess it was over the weekend, right?
It was on Sunday, and then we streamed about it on Monday.
Yeah, so they went through, and I haven't finished a complete comparison yet. But so I don't know what your results were, so don't spoil them for me. As far as what you picked, but Jonathan literally was going through and writing people's names down and as to what they picked and everything else. I thought it was really well done, and I've actually joined Jonathan's chat before, to where he was doing two projectors like side by side at like 1 a.m. one night. I guess he couldn't sleep, so I happened to go down to the theater, and I was like, "Oh, Jonathan's streaming live. Let me see what he was doing." So, I mean, you guys are doing some really educational stuff over there. I know I thoroughly enjoy watching,
Good.
and listening to all you guys, every
Glad you
single
enjoy
week.
it.
And Bob's a wealth of knowledge too. I know he hasn't been on lately, right?
He's been doing a lot with subs lately. So he's had his hands full playing with the CNC machine and
oh wow.
building subs.
Oh cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll see him tomorrow, because I have a modified lens that showed up today, I think. So hopefully I'll get to look at that. Hopefully it increases the native contrast. The last one didn't. Hopefully this one does. Hopefully it'll double. It's my hope.
And what projector do you have in the theater?
Christy Griffin.
Christy Griffin. Okay.
Yeah. You guys will see it in a minute.
Yeah. So the native, what are you seeking with the modified lens?
So the native right now, depending on the brightness that I put out of it, is anywhere between 5200 and 5701 is where I sit right now. And I am at for a brightness level, about 314 measured nits off the screen. And I'm at 60% laser. So we can go a lot higher. I could go to right around 600, I think is where I tap out. But the fans are so loud that it's not worth having that loud. 314 is bright enough. I don't need it any brighter than that. It's fantastic. It's like watching an LED.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's like
Yeah,
your
that's
average LED, right? Before, you know.
Well, full screen LED is usually 100 and something nits. I'm at full screen 314 nits.
Wow.
So it's bright. It is stupid bright, but it is stupid awesome.
Yeah, Ike and I, we got actually, Paul, you were there too, right? You got a chance to go over and check out Ryan's theater. We got to, I know Ike and myself, we got to see it. I mean, literally, it was like fresh out of the box, right? So it
It's
was
a lot better since you've seen it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
projector was, oh man, looking back at what that looked like before we calibrated it, it was not good. Not good. But now it's significantly better, audio and video.
I can't wait to get out there and check it out again for
Gotta
sure.
come to M-Wave again.
Yeah, speaking of that, that's a good segue. So tell us, man, what are the plans for 2026?
M-Wave's coming back September 18th through the 19th through the 20th. That was a bad way of saying that. 18th through the 20th. We announced it to the vendors, and we've already got vendors signing on. I announced it last week, and we've already got vendors locking in. So it'll fill up really quick as far as the vendor slots go. My thing that I'm telling the vendors is, and some people may not appreciate this, but we need to move away from the penis measuring contest, right? Where the vendors are getting out of control on bring more, bring more, bring more. It's all cool to see these over the top theaters in these rooms. But one, they take a horrifically long time to set up. Two, they are amazingly expensive, and the vendors are putting in tons of money into making this because everything they open is no longer new. So what do you do with it? And three, there's not really a great opportunity during those demos to provide any type of education. So what I've told the vendors this year is small. It's 2 weeks after CEDIA, which I feel bad about because CEDIA is already an exhausting experience. I was out at CEDIA for 10 days this year. Build up. The show was 3 days long, and I was out there for 10 days building and tearing down. So it's already exhausting. And this is education. How can we showcase technologies and use cases so that people can see something in M-Wave, experience something in M-Wave, and take it home and apply it in their own spaces? That's what the focus is this year, both on seminars, talks, and in the actual experience rooms. So where that takes us, I don't know. I don't have that locked in with the vendors yet. But that has been my words and directions to them. They can still do a full theater if they want. I just think this year, let's change it up. Let's do something different and think small. Like for calibration, I want Jason Dustle. We'll see if we can get Sammy Prescott and some of the other guys out there. But to do a live calibration, like what they would do for ISF, and not teach people how to calibrate, but allow people to ask questions of, oh, I see you're doing this. What are you doing? Or if you change this value, what does that do to the image? And so on and so forth. So, because you don't have time to take them through an entire ISF certification course,
right?
But to be able to allow people to see it and then ask questions about it, I think is a great opportunity. So small things like I want to put a mastering monitor. There's a 55-inch OLED version right next to a out-of-the-box TV and see if people can tell the difference. I want to have people be able to see a calibrated monitor or calibrated TV or projector next to that identical thing uncalibrated, but have the mask so you can't tell which is which, and see if you can tell the difference. And it's blind showcases, comparisons for speakers, amplifiers, TVs. We'll bring the cable stuff back, all that, the stuff that is different that nobody else does. And then we'll do the home theater stuff again. We're just trying to lock in dates. I think we've got 5 or 6 home theaters that are going to open up that we've done historically. Mine will be open, but it'll only be open on Wednesday. Most other people's will be Wednesday and Thursday.
Okay. So I know previously there was a guy that was building, like, I think he was doing like 30 subwoofers, infinite baffle subwoofers. Is he going to be doing? He was going to do it, but he didn't get his construction done in time at the last wave.
Brian.
Yeah.
So Brian has 80 12-inch subs.
Is he going to be there? Is he going to be in the?
We hope so. Yes.
Okay, because I'd love to go out and see
his
that
entire front wall is 12-inch subwoofers. The entire front wall.
Have you heard it?
No, he's not done yet.
He's still not done. He
He's
sounds like
made
me.
He's made progress.
Like, you didn't hire Don to do your drywall, did you? That would explain.
Hopefully that's done. Hopefully another gentleman's done. And then we've got myself, Jonathan, Sheldon. I think Grant's doing it, and Ryan, and then hopefully Brian and Tim do it.
Nice, very nice.
Yep.
Yeah, I tell you what, I thoroughly enjoyed myself. You know, going last time. I think I did 3 tours myself, and then you were so gracious to invite myself and Ike to come out, you know, after hours. So definitely appreciate that.
Yeah.
To check out your place, and obviously we want to come back as press again, you know, for M Wave. But yeah, no, I can't wait. I mean, I love the fact that you're trying to go back to your Kansas City roots, to where, you know, from what I understand, it all started on like projection and sub comparisons and stuff like that. So
it started with blind compare. I mean, it's more work for me because I have to think about design them, plan them out, and do all of that. But I think that's where we need to go back to, because it's what sets it apart from everything. And it's more beneficial to the community. Seeing cool stuff is great, but what do you take away from that? Most of the time, you don't remember those experiences aside from, oh, yeah, that was cool. You can't remember anything finite or granular. So this allows us to have takeaways, to be able to go there, go home, and make something else better. And that's what I want for people.
Well, since you're doing that, I might just have to take the whole month of September off now. I'm gonna be at M Wave, gonna be at Cedia.
You have to fly to Cedia, and then from Cedia just fly straight to Kansas.
I'm gonna have to take a leave of absence for some weird illness that I don't know I'm gonna have.
The brewery tour in Colorado while you're there, and you know, there's all kinds of things.
So yeah, no, look, I'm glad it's coming back. I can't wait to be able to join again. Yep. and get out there for sure. I really do like the blind tests. I mean, the speaker comparison that we sat through, and the coat hanger speaker cable was really impressive, you know. So I didn't go to the first M Wave, but I did go to the last 2. So I enjoy the venue, you know. I think that it's a fantastic location. You know, flights in there are a little bit expensive, just because, you know, they're not Kansas City's not like a beach destination where everybody's looking to fly to. So flights are a little bit expensive getting into there. But I mean, you got all the hotels and everything, you know, a block away, 2 blocks away. So I think it's a fantastic location for it.
It's once you're there, it's cheap. Just getting there can be a little expensive depending on where you're coming from. Certain locations, it's very cheap. Just depends on if you've got direct flights. We're just not a hub for anything, so it can make it more expensive to get to us.
Yeah. I think when I first looked to go, you know, it was like, I think it was close to like $350.
Which isn't bad.
Which isn't bad at all. No. My first year that I went, it was over $500 to fly out there.
Man, you popping beers now?
Let's brighten them up here. Hold on.
This is a bougie one here. This is a boulevard. So we know the.
There we go. Dark sour ale.
That said 82% alcohol.
No,
you're like,
dude,
Paul needs to stop.
He's got moonshine over there.
You're like, wait, that's too much.
Oh.
I am calling an intervention. 82. Like
Jeez.
what?
So Drew says, love the focus of learning at M-Wave, but a lot of people don't have the opportunity to see the types of rooms that were at the previous show. This may be the only place to do that.
So we're going to try. I'm just trying to provide the vendors with a way to not kill themselves, because it is a lot.
Yeah, especially coming right off of
Especially
CEDIA
after
too,
CEDIA.
right?
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
of lot of pressure on them with where the time of year it is. It was the only time I could do it because it's this stupid thing called the World Cup was in Kansas City in June and July. So when in 27, hopefully when we do it again, we'll not be around CEDIA. We'll move back to the summer, but this is just when we've been stuck.
Yeah. I mean, look, I like the rooms, but as you mentioned, after I went to CEDIA. I was able to discern, certain rooms that I like better than others. But I mean, when you got a Trinoff or a Storm processing, they're processing those speakers all pretty much the same way. So you're getting a lot of the same sound in all the different rooms, right? So I mean, it's there are some stuff that distinguishes one from the other, but I mean, when you're watching movie clips and stuff like that, they do start to blend all together. You know what I mean? So it's I like the fact that you get to see all the different equipment, but I do like the education portion of it too. So it's I mean, one of my favorite things of the second M-Wave was the room correction.
Yeah. That takes a lot of work.
Yes, it does.
That takes a lot of work. I'm glad that I was even able to pull that off. There's so many cables to do that.
Mhm.
It's mind numbing trying to sit there and think through how this is. I remember having that idea and then trying to figure out how the hell I was going to do it, let alone to be able to do it in real time. So I'll try it. I've got some contacts that I want to reach out to see if they can build me some custom pieces. The gentleman that did the switching architectures for the Mad VR Experience Center for the audio that we use to switch between Storm and Trinov, he makes a product called Bobwire, which is just hardware-based switching. So I want to see if he can make me some bigger ones instead of 2 channels, give me 6 so that I can run a bunch of them and be able to do it that way. So we'll see. It may come back. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of work to do that one, especially.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one because you could definitely. I mean, if you stayed in the same seat, obviously you could hear the difference. But if you start moving around, that's when it became a little muddied, right? So, and same thing with the speaker comparison too. You kind of needed to stay fixated where in the speaker comparison portion too. So, I would suggest that when you do have those, if you do have those again, to tell people, hey, stay in the same seat so that you can get the same results, or not the same results, but you're not moving throughout the room, getting up and moving around.
We'll see if that one comes back because there's a lot of unquantifiable variables that come into that can become problematic. Like, what was that particular run for calibration? Is it going to differ from doing it again? Level matching, how far do we take this to try and make them all the same? So we'll see. I may bring it back. I may not. We got to see how many vendors decide that they're coming and how many rooms are actually available for me to do that. Because every room that I use that for means it's one less room that vendors can utilize.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I'm just happy that it's coming back. I'm glad.
Me too.
Glad to see that, we're bringing it back for people that want to be there. I mean, just and most of all, it's just, I think I mentioned this even about CEDIA. just fun seeing people
Yeah,
that
It's about
you
the community and the
the
relationships.
community and
Yep.
everything else. So it's just fun going out there and talking to people that you
It's
haven't
as
seen
much
for a
about
while.
seeing new equipment, learning new things, as much as it is getting to know other people and sharing those experiences with people that may become your friends
Absolutely.
or already are.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. We ran into Bob at CDA. He talked to him for a long time.
Yeah, we talked to Bob outside of the room,
Yeah.
waiting for him, and
I was like, oh my God. I was like, everybody's here. So it was
yeah.
good.
So Derek says, hope Grimani comes back, and Derek did have a question or a comment, I think, about the Valerian. You guys use the Pro 2, right?
That's
Not the
correct.
Max.
Yes.
Yeah, just wanted to clarify that. So he says, I have the Max, and I thought I couldn't see the RB because it was not all rainbows like normal for me, but there is something uncomfortable about the image, and I wonder if it's still the RBE bothering me.
Don't know. It bothers me.
So yeah, no, I haven't seen the Valerian. I would love to see it. I from what I hear from reviewers and even the first iteration of it, that came out, I heard it was a really good. I don't want to say budget, but a really good bang for your buck projector for sure. I've not experienced the single chip DLPs, so I'm not sure if I would see the rainbow effect or not, to be honest with you.
I just want them to come with a different shape. I'm still trying to get used to that.
Yeah,
cubes.
the mount itself is what throws me off, right? The screw in kind of like tripod type of camera type of mount system. So
It's only 5 pounds. It only needs.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it weighs much. So
yeah, I don't know. It throws me off. I don't I don't know if I would trust it.
You're like, nope.
Yeah, not. I don't think I would hang that thing upside down by a threaded screw that the base could, wiggle it loose, especially. So I don't
it's a
know.
lifestyle projector, though.
You don't want to put thread lock on that either. So,
That's funny.
but yeah, no. So Ryan, give us a little bit about yourself. I know we dove right into it there, but tell us how you got your start in home theater and what a bad influence Jonathan was on you.
So I got my start really because I had a bad experience. I had a bad experience with a dealer that was really recommending things, I feel like, out of the avenue of what would give him the most return. And I was naive, didn't know any better. And this wasn't that long ago. I mean, in comparison to some people's journeys, like Jonathan's been on his journey forever, as a comparative point. And I'm relatively new to the space. I have the unfortunate trait of anything that I do, I look at it as it's worth overdoing. Everything I do that way. Unfortunately, I dive feet first into everything that I do. So I had a bad experience. And I was coming off of being on disability. I had gotten in a bad motorcycle accident, and I was trying to figure out, can I go back to work? Right? That was the question I was asking myself. Well, I don't think I can go back to an office. How can I do something that allows me to stay out of an office, stay away from people? Because I was having issues being around people. My brain couldn't filter out a lot of the things that it does daily that we just take for granted. And I would have panic attacks, not because, I was anything particular. It was just stimuli would cause me to go into this. I'm better at it now. It still happens, but I'm better about it, managing those symptoms. So we were trying to figure out a way for me to do this. And Social Security Disability has this thing called return to work, because they want you to go back to work.
Mm-hmm.
The government does not want you to stay on permanent disability. I was given permanent Social Security disability. They didn't know if I'd ever be able to return to work. I was put on Social Security disability, not permanent at that point, but on Social Security disability within a month, which is kind of unheard of. I don't know if I wrote my application really well, or they just looked at me and went, "That guy's really effed up. We need to do something." I don't really know, but they put it on me really fast. So there was a thing called return to work, and so I was able to try it without worrying about my benefits going away. Because if I didn't have my benefits that were helping pay for things for the household and the family and everything, it was going to be a bit of a problem. So tried it, and it's not really anything I had done. My dad owned his own business, so I knew kind of what to do. But going into it, I just thought, I'm going to do this a little differently. I'm not going to try and go at it and try and say, hey, I want to sell you the most expensive thing. I want to educate people and even tell people no when they don't want something, or when something, not when they don't want something, but when I think something isn't appropriate for their use case or whatever they're trying to do, and make it so that they would realize, like, I'm not in for this for the money. I'm in this so that you can have a good journey. So I took a bit of a different approach. And I had a theater at the time. It was a Martin Logan Masterpiece level theater. It was all Martin Logan electrostatics, 15As up front, 34C in the center, EFX on the sides. There were more speakers on the ceiling than there were on the floor. It was a crazy setup. There was 11, 12, and then it was an 11, 6, 12 was the channel count in that theater. And then there were 12-inch subs in all of the chairs. There were transducers. There was JTR was doing all of the subs. It was a crazy setup. That theater also gave me a leg in because I was able to go to a Masterpiece level for Martin Logan in selling instead of starting at their CI. So I had doors open in that regard. And then I also got on contract-wise with taking care of all of the support and training for MadVR. And that gave me a very unique inroad into the industry where I was also a vendor, but I was also a dealer. So it gave me a unique lens that very few others have. And it also allowed me to meet a bunch of people that I maybe didn't have the time in the industry that everybody else would need to get to meet those people. So that gave me an advantage. It was all of, I guess I'll say, a perfect storm of allowing me to do things that maybe I shouldn't have been doing at that time because I didn't have the time in to be able to do it, but I had the connections to be able to make it happen. So that's where the dealer part came from. The theater part came from the always overdoing. Again, it was knowing that I've experienced something and that becoming the new benchmark. So I went to Atlanta Home Theater with MadVR as a vendor event. It was different than most expos and stuff because it was just for the vendors to hang out and some high-level clients that would come in and be able to build relationships with the vendors. We weren't really doing demos or anything. It was just for fun. So Jeffrey from Ascendo had some speakers in the back room, and the distributor and one of their dealers here in the US had been trying to get me to commit to Ascendo because they said they were awesome. Historically, I have not liked compression drivers. I have not liked coaxials for whatever reason. I just didn't like the way they sounded. I was spoiled by my electrostatics. And I'm like, I'm not moving because this is my jam. I don't think anything will be better. But they've talked me into it, to sitting into that room, and there were 2 Black Swans and a 50-inch subwoofer. That's all that was in this room. It was totally untreated. There was one token acoustic treatment sitting on the side by itself. Why it was there, I don't know. It was just one treatment in the whole room. Room was made of stone, and there were 2 windows back behind it. It was a terrible room. And I sat down, and Jeffrey turned it on, and first thought was, oh no. Oh no. And that was within half a second. My mind had already gone, how do I make this work in my room? Because I knew if I didn't do that, I would go home, and every time I turned on my system at home, I would compare it to what I heard in Atlanta, and I wouldn't enjoy it anymore. So that happened in 23, and then by June of 24, I had a new theater. And it was an undertaking. I mean, you guys can read the build thread on AVS Forum, the Mad VR Experience Center. We ripped the room down to the studs. We moved walls. We tore up the floor. We ripped out a bar, put in 8,000 pounds of plywood, did 1,000 Risset clips, several thousand, probably 1,000 linear feet of hat channel, a mile of 12.4 speaker wire. I mean, it's on its own 100 amp service. So the theater by itself is just a never ending line of ridiculousness. The whole thing. It's one ridiculous line after another for God knows what reason. I just couldn't stop. If I could get a percentage point or two out of by doing something different, I did. And I was kind of inventing it as I went, but I was relying on the relationships that I had built to try and figure out the best ways to do everything. So it wasn't a big space. But it's bigger by most people's standards, but it's not big in comparison to other theaters. The raw space is 28 feet long, 16 feet wide, and 8 feet tall.
So is this the room that you were in?
That's it right there. Yep. And that video is from that weekend. So it was the benchmark, and that benchmark led to me building this benchmark, which I look at it now as I think it's one of the best theaters in the country, if not the world, for what that thing can deliver. So if I could do something, I probably did it to try. And if I could overdo something, I probably did it. So it led to what's in there now. And I sit in there now and I think, would I change anything? Is there anything I would do differently? Do I want to change anything out? And I can never come up with anything, which is a great place to be, because it means you are going to be entirely immersed in any of the content that you take in. There's no question of, could this be better? You don't sit there and wonder, hey, if I change this, would I enjoy this more? I don't think about that, because I know where I've gone represents the end. I can't change anything. Theoretically, I could change out the Griffin to an Eclipse, but I technically can't do it because there's not enough room. So I can't change things. There's no way for me to do anything differently. I got laughed at by Jeffrey and Todd when I was saying, hey, I want to do, at the time it was the 50 and the 32s. I want to do a 50 and two 32s in that space. I'm like, why? You don't need that many. I'm like, because if I'm going to have a 50 in the back, I want to have a same amount of power for infrasonic in the front. So power wise in that room, it's like having two 50s, because two 32s equals a 50 in capability wise. So I've got front and rear 50s in a way. And then there's 8 21-inch subs in there. So the low end's ridiculous. But, well, not but. They said, we don't need that much. And I said, well, anything worth doing is overdoing. And it turns out that I did need that much, because we can take the system to clipping. I don't. There's no reason to. I mean, I can go to 130 and it's just cruising, but we can. And we have.
I thought you upgraded to the 64-inch.
I did, but the driver is the same size,
figure, right?
Yeah. It is a different driver.
Yeah.
We changed some stuff, and it is better.
Gotcha. Did they do something different with the spider or the coil?
They changed quite a bit in that sub.
Okay. Because the dimensions, as far as the actual
dimensions are the same. They changed how they measure it, but the dimensions are the same. Spider, maybe dimensions are a little bit different. But man, that thing, that's never fun to replace. That driver. because then we have to bring an engine crane downstairs, then we have to build it in the room, and we have to do all that stuff.
They do free shipping both ways, right? In case you
Oh.
decide to return it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to pull up some the thread here, going through it. You guys can obviously see what I've been searching for with all the advertisements. At least it's not like OnlyFans or something like that. I've been searching for a steamer for work. So
Big Street says, "What do you do in life when the cinema is perfect?" Well, I can tell you, you enjoy it.
You enjoy it.
I'll sit in there, and I'm in AV nirvana. I listen to music, and I have visceral reactions to what I listen to when I'm by myself, which is telling of the experience that is happening. I mean, it's unreal, the experiences that I have in there. Just in 2-channel, sounds like the sound is behind you because of the room. And that led me to understand that the room, though forgotten by a lot of people, is worth as much or more, 50% or more of the experience.
Yep.
But for a lot of people, it's the last thing to think about. But the
Okay.
room and the treatments and the thought and the about a mass that's in that room, to me, makes or breaks that experience.
So what's the room size, Ryan?
It's 28 feet long, 16 feet wide, and 8 feet tall.
And is that baffle wall, or is that
That's raw. So that's with us putting up all the plywood and hat channel and green glue and all that. It doesn't include the officina room. It doesn't include anything going in there. That's just the raw, unfinished, down to OSB, not to the timber frame, but to OSB. It's 28 feet long, 16 feet wide, and 8 feet tall. That's where we go. I
And then
lose
after all the treatment.
after all of the treatments, and the officina room is in there. The only part you see is 14 by 14 by 7'9". So to you, you think the room is quite small, but the room is actually double what you see.
So here
7
we go.
feet in the front and 7 feet in the rear is eaten up for acoustics.
Oh, that drywall lift is giving me nightmares.
Well, the drywall, imagine drywall, but it's 100-pound sheets of OSB.
Yeah.
So every sandwich was like 220 pounds if you include green glue.
Now, did you help? So what portion of this did you actually do, and what portion did you
So I hired a
contract out?
contractor to do this part, to actually hang the OSB, because I wasn't going to be nearly efficient enough to do that. So I hired a contractor to do that. Everything else I did, minus the floor. The floor I hired out. So the floor is the same floor that they would use on an MRI machine. Trying to find people to do that floor, because it's covered concrete, was not easy. We had to level it in order to make sure that the gap underneath all of the officina walls was done. Everything else is me.
It's
So
crazy.
the OSB, is that screwed into hat channel, or is
Yep.
that screwed into just
Screwed
a
in the hat
joist?
channel. So the Risset clips sit on the timber framing. So there's R13 in between all of the joists. Then the 7/8 inch hat channel attaches to the Risset clips. First layer of OSB attaches to them. Green glue, 2 tubes for every 4 by 8 foot sandwich, and then another piece of OSB.
You
That's
put way
all
more.
sealed
You
up.
put way more green glue than I did, for sure.
That's all sealed up, and then the Officina Acustica room attaches to that. We used a
Did you-
lot of green glue.
Did you draw the design plan yourself?
That shit's not cheap either. That
No,
green glue.
it's like $17 a tube.
Yeah.
It's not cheap. So the initial one with my thoughts on everything, yeah. And then I had conversations with Officina on what the aesthetic was actually going to look like for the room. So I said, this is how the space I want to do. And then we worked together to get to the point of where we are. I found some inspirations of what I wanted the theater to look like. And then we went from there. And then I tried to give myself enough room front and back to be able to create any type of baffle for whatever I was going to do. So the rear has 10, and I'll show them when we get in there. I call them the dead men. They're 6 foot tall pieces of OSB that are 18 inches wide, hanging on chains with Dynamat Echo Fiber and R38 stapled to both sides.
Wow.
And there's 10 of them that hang around the 64. So if you go back behind the 64, it is unnaturally dead. It is unnerving when you're back there because it's so quiet. It's not anechoic, but it is very quiet when you go back there because of all of that treatment. And then since we're talking about the back of the room, the Christie actually sits directly on top of the sub. It's sitting on decoupling pucks. And then we used different types of insulation around it in order to try and isolate it. And then Bob Dieterle actually built 2 hush boxes. One goes on the intake and the other one goes on the exhaust. And in a picture you saw earlier, there's a extract that comes down just of insulated ducting that drops down. And then there's an AC infinity fan attached to the other side to pull all of the exhaust air that the Christie generates. So the room actually stays very cool because of that exhaust. It's just pulling, and it's pulling air in from up top because the room isn't fully sealed. The top of the room, you'll see it once we get further down. We actually cut holes into the ceiling so we could recess the 12 wedges into the ceiling because the 12 wedges are actually a foot thick, and having those attached to a 7'9" ceiling was not going to work for the aesthetic that I was trying to get. So we cut holes in a finished ceiling, which was a serious pain in the ass, trying to cut through hat channel and all of this other stuff. And we had to do that because we didn't know where the holes were really going to go. So we surmised that, well, this is probably the best way to do it. We're just going to cut after the fact. And it ended up working out. Was it the best way? I don't know. It was how we did it. So we cut holes, and then we attached projector mounts into those holes. So the projector mounts sit 2 feet up into the ceiling, and then they drop poles, and then the speaker is attached to those, and that allows me to tilt and turn the speakers in any way that I want. You can actually see the holes in that picture.
Yeah.
So
did that have a major effect on the soundproofing that you were trying to achieve?
No, you can't hear the theater high frequencies in the kitchen. There's 3 feet of insulation.
Okay.
I'm not stopping the infrasonics. Like the infra stuff, the wavelengths are so long they don't care. They're like, pink fluffy, I don't care. So they just keep going, but it does really well for the high frequency stuff. I can't hear it.
Okay.
So it didn't really affect anything.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that, when you first were doing this. I saw another, I guess, when you guys were talking about the build out and stuff. And that's the first thought that I had was, well, if he's cutting into, cutting 2 layers of OSB away with green glue and everything else, I was wondering if it was going to compromise the.
Nah, it does. Is it a perfect solution? Probably not, but it was good enough for what was going on there. So that was me putting down primer. I'm not a painter, but I primed it. And then I painted the entire room in Duratex.
Oh, dang.
Wow.
That's
That's
Was it a good decision? I have no idea.
that is
a bad idea. That's a
that
bad
and
decision.
chalkboard paint is it's like putting tar.
It finished quite well. I like the finish of it. I like the look of the OSB because it's not flat, meaning it has all of these chips in it, and then putting it gives it some texture. So this was the first layer of doing the floor, and you can see all the droplets. It didn't turn out very well, so they ended up having to come back and redo it a few times, but we got it to where it is now, and it's good. It's hard, but it's not as resilient as I would like it. That's the first layer of subs, so you can see the 12-4 speaker wire sitting up there on the J hooks up above. That sucked. That was only about half of it. We ended up having to change those J hooks because they broke.
Oh wow.
It was too
I
much
was gonna
weight.
say, that's like Cat 5 J hooks there.
Yeah, that wire, every spool weighs over 100 pounds.
Mm.
It was not fun to move. It was not fun to pull. It sucked. And it took almost 5,000 feet to do that theater.
Jeez.
Dang.
It was not
And a 20 by how wide room?
28 by 16 by 8.
So how far is your rack away from the room?
From the furthest subs with some service loop, it's like 80 feet of wire to get
Wow.
back there. It's not 80 feet as the crow flies, but it's 80 feet for the run.
Well, yeah, no, I understand because my theater all the way to the front to where my rack is, I had to pull a 75-foot balanced cable,
Yep.
an XLR. So
Mhm.
I understand what you mean.
Then we got to terminate into the switches and then come out of the switches into the amps. Then we have to do all of that multiple times because there's dual stacks of amps, and it was a lot.
And that's the that's the speakers, the Atmos speakers that you were speaking of.
Yeah, so one regret, the wires on that sidewall. I wish I would have lowered them because we ended up having to cover them in some stick-on velvet. If I would have put them behind the wall, I wouldn't have had to worry about that, but that was a mistake.
You're talking about it right over here?
Yeah, because the walls don't go all the way to the ceiling, the Officina ones, so you could see over them, so you could see them,
Okay.
and we ended up covering them. You can't really see them now for how I did it, but that was a mistake. And then you can see the 50 cabinet getting built back there by Doug.
Oh, okay. That's the new cabinet from the debacle.
Yep. And it's sitting on its back. So it's 4 feet deep. It's 72 inches tall, 68 inches wide, and 48 inches deep. And it's laminated 3/4 inch OSB. So, or not OSB, Baltic birch. So it's double stacked 3/4 inch. So every wall of that sub is 1.5 inches thick.
So can you elaborate? I don't know if everybody has heard this or not, but can you elaborate why you were building a box for?
I think there's pictures somewhere in this thread of that endeavor where I think it's up higher.
I know I saw the
Staircase.
Let's see here.
I feel like it's in this thread.
It might be a little bit.
Maybe it's further down.
I know I saw a picture of the 50 coming off of the truck and then you next to it.
No, I don't know where. There's a picture of it somewhere. But anyway, I bought this cabinet and driver, and I swore that it was going to fit down the stairs. I measured. And then when we got it on the stairs, it didn't fit.
And how much does this weigh?
The driver by itself weighs 400 pounds. That cabinet with the driver weighs about 1,000 pounds. The new cabinet with the driver, which will never leave that room, weighs over 2,000 pounds. So we got it on the stairs. I had a moving company come out. They moved the 21s and the 32s. Then we were supposed to move the 50, and the 50 didn't fit. And it didn't fit because I measured straight up. I didn't account for the angle of the dangle. And that caused it to not fit down the stairs. So I hired a structural engineer to come out and see if we could move joists to do all of this stuff. And he said, that's probably not a good idea because you'll unsupport the staircase above this one, which was not a good thing to do. So we didn't do that.
I think the wife might have had a problem with that one.
Well, she had a problem with me at this point. She's like, you do all of this stuff and then you have to problem solve and then I have to deal with you. And it's like, I get it. But that's part of this story, this theater's journey. It's part of this theater's the story, and I wouldn't change it. So we ended up having to try and figure out what we were going to do. I thought I was going to cut a hole in the floor. Could I drop it through that? Could I do all of this stuff? And it ended up that I had to call in a favor from one of my friends, Doug Chappello. And the compromise on that was money, right?
Right.
To get him to spend his time to build this. That cabinet took 80 hours to build. One sub cabinet took 80 hours to build. Cut everything in my garage. Took them over a month of nights and stuff. It is... I think it's a masterpiece. I mean,
did you send the plans to Jeffrey?
We didn't have plans when we built this. We had the old cabinet to use as a reference. We didn't have plans for this. There weren't any plans because every cabinet is supposed to be custom made. So he built this cabinet.
Oh, okay.
Cut everything in the garage, brought all the parts down, built it in the theater, and then we stood it up once it was built and put the driver on it. So 20 sheets of Baltic birch with essentially one sheet of waste.
So when you got this built, right? It's
Mhm.
you got the cabinet standing up, which is you said it's what, 2,000 pounds?
With the driver in, it's about 2,000 pounds. Yeah.
So the driver itself is 400 to 500 pounds, right?
It's 400.
How are you and a couple guys? I mean,
Mhm.
you're not worried about puncturing that driver or trying to. And
How did we
what
get
did
it
you
up there?
even fasten it with? 400
So-
pound driver.
I've become a pro at moving these drivers. You use an engine hoist. You lay the driver on its back, so voice coil is down, driver up. You use straps, and you pick it up through using the spider, so it's just hanging. And I've posted pictures. You can see the driver hanging from engine hoist. And then what you do is you take threaded rod and you thread it into all of the holes, right? So you have this nice long threaded rod sticking out. Take the engine hoist, move it over, line it up, get the driver on the threaded rod, slide it all the way back. One of the bottom ones, because the driver's going to want to tilt out because the voice coil wants to fall down. You take one of the bottom ones out while somebody's holding the driver in, and you put a bolt in. And then it'll kind of sit by itself. And then you take one threaded rod out, bolt, threaded rod out, bolt, threaded rod out, bolt. And then you tighten them all down in a star pattern. Then it's in.
So when you say bolt, like lag bolt, or what?
Drywall screw.
Now they're, I think, 12 millimeter bolts.
Oh,
It's like a car stud
yeah.
for a wheel.
Like a wheel tire,
Yeah.
wheel stud.
They're big.
So all those BDSM straps came in
Yeah,
handy. Moving
They're
yourself.
big. And even though that driver weighs the amount that it does, when we first turned the theater on, that driver was walking.
Mm.
The whole sub was walking. So that sub is actually concrete anchored into the ground using, I think, 9 Tapcons to stop it from moving.
Oh, yeah.
So you had to open it back up.
No, on the outside, I just
Okay.
put in L brackets
L brackets. Okay.
and attached them to the sub and drilled them into the floor. So,
Yeah. What are they called? The red something. I know what you're talking. Yeah.
so it's not going anywhere now, but that driver, if I really let it go, which I'll rip my room apart now, if I did that, it'll walk from the excursion.
Mm.
And I was worried about the Christie sitting on top. That could have been bad.
That is really bad.
The Christie's actually angled because I needed to get it down because of the amount of lens shift we had. I have to shift it so far you can actually see the lens housing on the outsides. So we angled it to stop it from that. The back of the Christie sits a 1/4 inch away from the ceiling.
There's your buddy. There's your co-host.
Jonathan, you didn't even do it with me. Get out of here.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I mean, it just hearing about it. When
Quite
you guys
the
were talking about it on the
So-
show, it was.
So how many this is a huge, this is the awe factor, the inspiration, the everything that you have in your theater. Like I would imagine that this is, there's not a lot of theaters with even one piece of equipment that you have, what are the clienteles, or what's the
Like why?
appeal? Yeah, like how many people are reaching out to you that are like, hey, I want to hear this, whether it's, I'm sure it's probably not the end client, because I mean, this is so high end that type of client's probably like whatever. It's it's
Yeah,
not even.
they have their people come out and listen.
Yeah,
to it.
exactly. They have their people that has their people that comes out.
This theater was meant to be what is possible. Like what can be done. That's what I wanted to showcase, because that's what I've done at M-Wave. Like you can do all of this stuff, but what can you do if you want to reach the end?
Gotcha.
That I've talked about before I built this theater, and I talk about it still now, of chasing the rabbit. This theater, in my eyes, and many others, represents the end, the bottom of the rabbit hole. There's nowhere else for me to go. Like it is the end. So when I offer to have people out, or they say they want to come out, it's more of to figure out what you want to do. What do you value? When somebody sits down in there, I have customers out at least a couple times a month from all over the country. And I'll pick them up from the airport. So if you want to come experience it, you think you might want to do something, you're trying to figure out what you want, I'm open. That's what this space is about. They come out and I tell them, maybe they're waffling about coming out. I tell them, listen, you need to come out, not because I'm going to try and sell you this theater, but because you need to figure out what you value.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Because invariably, most spaces are going to have compromises. My space's compromise is size, which is why it's only one row.
Yeah.
I can't do any more if I want to do the experience that I have. So every space, to some degree, has a compromise in it. And you've got to figure out, using this theater as a measuring stick, what your compromise is going to be.
Yeah.
Are you going to compromise broadly on video? Are you going to compromise on audio? Are you going to compromise on the space, on aesthetic? What are you going to do? So that allows them to figure out what they care about, because everything is the end, represents the end in that direction. So you get to decide pretty easily once you're in that space, oh, I could live without this, or I must have this. And that's why I did it. It's not that I ever think that somebody's going to walk in there and go, well, I need this. I want a copy of this. I don't think that'll ever happen. But I still wanted to be able to showcase, this is what can be done. This is the new measuring stick. And I also was doing this not just for customers, but that space is as much a customer showroom as it is a vendor showroom. And it's used by vendors to show to dealers, not to end users.
Yeah.
So I have dealers come out. I have vendors come out. I have reps come out to see the space, to experience different things.
And that's what I was when I was like, it's got to be in that vein, because this is like so over the top, right? It's like, but to what you said, like I might visit that room and save a lot of money. Don, on the other hand, if he, every time he goes back, it's going to cost him more money in another year.
I definitely want to get out and
more years than money.
Yeah, more years than money, right? Yeah.
Look, and I even asked Ryan this question, prior to us. So, what. And we're going to see the theater, so maybe I'll wait and ask this question. But so wait to answer this. But I asked Ryan, hey, would you mind telling us what this theater cost, right? And Ryan's like, hey, I'm an open book, So after we do the theater tour, maybe you can reveal that to us.
Yeah, we can
as far as what it costs, but.
In the meantime, in the chat, just guess what you think the theater costs.
Yeah,
Some of you probably already know.
Let's do a Bob Barker.
Price is right.
Give us an estimate. What do you think based on what you've heard?
What did you bid?
So the total setup,
Bob, 1 million and one.
the total setup is what's the speaker layout, Ryan?
The speaker layout. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my phone into StreamYard so we can go in there because it's fell off evidently. The speaker layout is, if we include the subs, it's an 11.11.6.
11.11.6. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. And you spoke of off of, I don't even know how to say it. The people that built your room for you.
Officina?
Officina. So when you, what made you decide to go with them, and what were you because look, I mean, I know they build rooms and stuff for Cedia, and certain people have I know some some of the rooms are like cardboard boxes at Cedia, right? But when the vendor does want to go above and beyond, they do have, I think that not last year but the year before, they had Officina build a room or so out there. What made you decide to go with them? And when you, I know it gets shipped from wherever they are. So were you surprised at what it looked like when you got it?
No, I knew. But let me show you. Bring my
Okay.
phone in, and I'll
Sure.
take it, and I'll show you why I did what I did.
Oh, sorry. Me and Ike
You
trying
can-
to do.
Take this one out.
Go ahead, Ike.
Okay.
And if you could turn
So let's
the
get rid
phone,
of that. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you could turn the phone landscape wise.
Why
so we
can't
get a
I
lot
hear
of
you on this?
We can hear you.
Mm,
Can you hear us?
1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. This is 5 hertz and below. No.
Can you hear us?
say something now.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Mic check.
And you still nope.
I don't know why it won't let me hear you guys on my phone.
Log out and then come back in.
On your phone. And let's see.
I'll text you.
There's always technical difficulties.
Yes.
What was it when I updated my OS on Mac? Yeah, the first time I updated, so I joined early, no problem. And then the following week, I waited until like 5 minutes before the live to connect.
Mm-hmm.
It would not work, and that was the time I was late for like a couple minutes. But you guys were
Right,
having technical difficulties too at the same time, so I was just like, "Oh my god!"
All right. I can hear you now.
Okay, cool.
I don't know what its deal was.
Are you able to turn the phone to the back camera and
I don't
then
know.
landscape?
If you hit the
Yeah.
settings button, you should be able
Back
to see
triple
camera.
camera? There you
There
go.
you
There
go.
you go.
There you go.
Okay. So
And
I'm
then
gonna
you can-
turn the lights on in here.
And then you can turn the camera sideways or horizontal so we get a wider view.
Oh, now he went to full dark mode.
No, I turned it on now.
Deep
There you go.
There we
side.
go. Ah,
There you go.
there we go.
Yeah.
There's the wide.
Okay. So for anybody that hasn't seen it,
We've
is the
got
room.
it. Yes.
so trying to
And
move around here.
I can attest. You
Did I
can't
blind
hear,
myself?
you can't hear anything, even like right next to the door. Like as far as like, I would say anything above like 200 hertz, you don't hear at all.
Yeah.
outside.
So
Like-
this is the door.
Yeah, you don't-
Hey Siri,
anything
turn on the
outside
basement
that,
lights.
you can be standing right there, and it's like, are they still playing the demo? And you
So
don't
there's
hear
the door.
Yeah.
And it makes a very satisfying ka-chunk
That
when it
tactile.
shuts. So it seals. It's got a drop down curtain that comes down on the bottom. And if you look at the side, it's actually got 3 independent locks that come out to seal it all the way down.
Oh,
So it latches in multiple locations and it fully seals,
It's like a
I think, in
vault.
3 different places. So it's not
It's like a
it's not
ball.
coming out.
That's
Yeah.
what
gee, what
Better
So
make
you were
sure-
asking why I chose Officina. The reason I chose them is because of this. So I got to put my phone down. to show you. But these panels, see if I can get one off, all come off. So you can just take every panel off.
Mm-hmm.
And this room, if we decided to move, would come with me. So the interior room, I mean, obviously the OSB and stuff
OSB
isn't
stuff.
coming with me, but this would all come with me because it's on extruded aluminum. And then it bolts to the OSB, which is why we did OSB instead of something like MDF, because we needed the strength of the OSB so it wouldn't rip out. And then the speakers sit behind this, and then you've got the Officina panels that sit in the room that are the aesthetic and the acoustic treatments. So the reason I went with them is because of the flexibility that they offer, but also because it allows me to take the room with me if I decide to do something else or go somewhere else.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can easily modify that, right? If you go to a different room, you can.
Yeah, so it's expandable.
Yeah.
I can change it. So there was some issues with some of the panels when we first got it. We changed them. We had to replace the panels. That panel up there, this one next to the projector, was actually the wrong color. So we were able to just fix that panel. It's not hard to replace. I just pop it off and put the new one in. That's it. So it's pretty simple once everything's installed and done. It's just getting to that point that, as I say with the Kaleidoscape or the Mad VR or the Christie and stuff, it's pay to play. And then once you get in, the upkeep on that isn't expensive. It's just getting over that initial hurdle.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So we didn't see any pictures of that build, right? We saw the
No.
basically the sub. I'm going to call it like the sub build.
Mhm.
Prior to you getting into the room, basically.
Mhm.
So what was that like building? Putting that aluminum. I guess it's like an aluminum framing, right? So you put all that
Yeah,
together.
that whole process sucked. Not because of that process, but because we were under such stress from M-Wave.
Mm-hmm.
This room went from OSB to close to this in under a week.
Totally forgot that you were doing that during it. Yeah.
And
I totally
sucked.
forgot about that. You were rushed.
So that huge shout out to everybody that helped do this, because I tell people, and I said this in Haterade's video that we did, these rooms are group efforts, right? They're not done by one person typically. This room, there's no way. This has so many people's signatures on it that it's not, I can't really call it just my room. It's absolutely the culminations of a lot of people's work and people that helped me get that done. I mean, you got Jeffrey Heinzel, the owner of Ascendo, Todd Sutherland, the owner of Sutherland AV, Cameron Choi, the owner of Insane AV. Those three guys were huge helps in getting this done during that few days leading up to M-Wave. So can't say that any of this was just my doing. And then Peter Aylett and Maurizio were also instrumental. They're the guys behind Officina and making all of this happen and getting things in timely fashions and helping me with things weren't working correctly and instructions to putting the room together and doing all of that. I mean, it was hugely helpful. Now, unfortunately, when we first did this room, I didn't have lighting for the first several months, but that's been rectified. We're no longer in the dark. But it was a mess getting started. I was hugely stressed at the M-Wave in 24, mainly because of getting this room done. I mean, it had been a year project. My wife's like, "You're just stressed with M-Wave." I'm like, no, M-Wave's stressful, but last year's M-Wave was stressful because this room went along with it. It wasn't just doing M-Wave. I was building this room, which...
And trying to get it done in a timeline. Yeah.
Well, yeah, wrap it up within a timeline because it had been going on for about a year and trying to get it wrapped up. It came down to mainly because a boat got stuck or our shipment got stuck on the water and that delayed everything. So it just slowed everything down.
So talk to me about I'm very interested in the room inside of the room, the officina. So when obviously they're where are they located at?
They're in Italy.
So you had to have everything shipped over on a boat, right?
Yep. Yep.
Now, did they come panels put together? Did you fabricate some of the panels there? Because my thought would be that, okay, they're going to ship you a whole 4x8 panel already ready to go.
So the panels are small. The panels are roughly 2 feet by 2 foot. So they're not very big. Every panel was done. Like it was wrapped in fabric. It was acoustically treated. They did all of that. We just had to put it together.
Okay. And you got like a paint by number type of thing. This panel goes
Yeah, all
here,
the
this
panels
goes
are
here.
numbered, so you know using the instructions of like the map of where things go. That's what the instructions were. It wasn't like a hand holding instructions. It was you're looking at a map, effectively a rendering, and every panel is numbered, and then you match the numbering accordingly. Is how that
Okay.
went.
And the framing itself, like
Mhm.
you have to build that prior to putting everything together, or is some of the framing already attached to the panels?
No, so everything's individual. The framing is all broken apart, and you have to build it, and then do the angles and do all of that. So it's been rendered, and it's been built off of that rendering. You then have to put it into the room.
Okay. So that was like a huge crate they sent over, or
Yeah.
how did that,
Big crate, couple crates.
with everything just piled in?
Yep.
And everything is up and down the steps, right? Obviously, because you built a new box, you don't have a walkout basement, right?
There is not a walkout here, unfortunately.
So did you get IKEA Cinnabons with it?
Yeah. Next house will have a walkout. This house does not have a walkout, unfortunately.
Man, I mean, just the process that it took to build the room inside of the room,
Mhm.
just sounds exhausting.
It was a lot. I mean, it was a lot. There's no real sugarcoating anything. And this was just the room. I mean, if we go back and look at the racks, so we'll leave here for a minute. Let's go over here. Pardon the mess. Well, I guess you guys can't see the mess. You just see me. So we got to come back here. You guys will hear them before you see them. Then we'll come back here. Let me flip the cameras around again. Boom. So here are the racks. So this is all the cabling. You excuse the HDMIs that are dropping down there. That was a huge kerfluffle trying to get all that to work. But these are the racks. Everything's backwards. So
All the all the boxes, the white boxes, that's all like power supplies for LED.
on the side,
Yeah.
nope, that's the switching architecture for the room.
Oh wow.
So that's how everything switches. So like if I do, you'll hear it. Well, those are the sub amps. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
All right. So if I do, let me wait for that to calm down here in a second.
You went black screen though.
Yeah, ignore that. But I'm doing something so you can hear it.
Oh,
If I do this, hear that click,
Mm-hmm.
then that, and then that. So that's me actually flipping everything over. So I'm switching between Storm and Chernoff doing that. And that's how fast it happens. So during that click, it instantly switches to the other processor.
Wow.
So
So
That's how-
is that something per channel? Is that what that is?
it's all done per channel, yeah.
Ah.
So there's 17, I think, of these boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, 16. Sorry, there's 16 of these boxes. And it's per channel. So it's XLR for the subs and then speaker wires for the speakers.
So the way that you have it set up, do you have it set up as kind of like an IMAX setup to where you have the speaker and then an individual sub?
Per speaker? No.
Yes. Okay.
No. No. Didn't do that. And a big reason for that is that an ideal place for a speaker is not an ideal place for a subwoofer, typically.
Right.
So
So
when people say, "Hey, I want to have all full range speakers," and they're trying to put subs in all of those locations, that's what I was originally actually going to do, or I was thinking about doing. So I'm like, "Oh, more subs is better." Excuse all the light because of my projector.
yeah,
Then having
I'll-
conversations with multiple people, it came down to, well, you're going to put subs in all of these places, and all of those subs are probably going to be in really bad locations. So there's no point in doing that. Now you can get benefits running full range speakers with ART. That's helpful. But for LFE and stuff, it becomes not really that advantageous, and it's better to do things a lot of times in arrays.
So up front, if we could just go through, are we able to see? Are we able to see the speakers, or are they hidden behind a baffle wall? How is this set up?
So, trying to think of how I can best show you that. I sent you that picture.
Oh yes, you did. Let me.
You can show that picture. The X-ray right now isn't working where I can put that on the projector, unfortunately.
Okay.
But you can put that picture up and see through the screen effectively.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you to walk us through what you have in the rack before you left that room, so you didn't have to walk back.
No, I can tell you what's in there.
Oh, okay.
So while he's looking for that picture, you've got the Storm Mark III ISP 32. Then you've got a Trinov Altitude 3232. Then you have on the Storm side, you have two PA16s and a PA8. And then on the Storm Trinov side, you have two Altitude 16. Excuse me, it's two PA8s and an altitude in a PA16. And then on the Trinov side, there's two Altitude 16s. Then you have on the Storm rack all of the AV gear. So Mad VR Extreme Mark II. You've got a what's that? Why can't I think of that UHD player's name? It's the weird named one.
The Magnetar? Oh,
Magnetar. There's a Magnetar in there. There's an Apple TV. There's a Roku. AV Pro Edge MX 8x8 HDMI matrix. So that's doing all of the HDMI switching because I have to send everything. All the audio has to go to both the Storm and the Trinov, so everything has to get fed into that. Then there is a AV Pro Edge 4x1 multi-screen. I can't. My brain is taking a dump right now. Multi-viewer, so I can put multiple tiles on the screen at the same time. Then what else is in that rack? Feel like I'm forgetting something that's quite. Oh, and the Kaleidoscape's in there. And then on the other side, underneath the Altitudes rack, the Trinov rack, is 7 Ascendo AIA 10K2s. So they're 10,000 watts apiece, single U infrasonic sub amps. So all of the 21-inch subs get 5,000 watts, and then each of the 32s or 33s and the 64 both get 10,000 watts. And since they're dual voice coil, they get 5,000 watts of voice coil.
Dang.
So what
Yeah.
what the Ascendo amps are they? H amp or
They're Class D.
Class D.
Yep.
So what type of to run all this stuff? Did you have to install like a whole separate sub panel?
So
for
it's a 100 amp sub panel that's running back there. There is 19 electrical circuits to run this theater. It's 12 20 amps, 6 15 amps, and a 30 amp.
Wow, the 30 amps for the projector.
Yeah. It doesn't really need that, I think, except for current inrush to power on. It doesn't take anywhere near that to maintain it, especially at the power we're running it at. But all of the amps get their own circuit.
Wow.
Necessary, but I'm doing it, so might as well.
Right.
And then all of the amps are also on 20 amp. So they're running at 240, which isn't really giving me a whole lot except for efficiency. They don't generate as much heat.
And once you did this, How much per month did the electricity bill go up?
It actually did go up. And the main reason it went up was because of idling. So the sub amps have been a pain in my butt to get to function how I wanted them to. Now I have gotten it to where the sub amps are on Shelly relays, and actually a good portion of the racks are on Shelly relays. So the whole rack will power down, and then I will just kill power to it. So in the home theater web remote, it sets a macro to turn all the gear off, and then it sends API commands to the Shelly relays, and they trip and disconnect all of that equipment from mains power, so
Okay.
they don't idle anymore.
Dang, that is
Because those things idle, the sub amps idle at like 140 watts.
Oh Jesus,
Yeah, they're.
which isn't a lot, but whenever you have 5 or 6,
I mean, that's a lot,
You know,
especially if it's
yeah.
running all the time.
It adds up quick. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
I got a couple thousand watts idling over here. Damn.
Yeah,
Like, how
Yeah.
many sub panels do you have? Like, that's crazy.
it's a 100 amp sub panel. So I have 3 sub panels in this house.
He has a sub panel that
Yes, 3 of them.
probably 70% of America, it's considered the main panel.
Yeah.
A 100 amp panel is a lot of homes.
We could have run it off of the mains, but it would have been a pain in the ass to wire the circuits all the way back there. So this is just what we decided to do.
Yeah, it used to be 50 amp, then 100 amp, and now I think in the standard is 200 amp circuit is the default for homes, but that's
Can
forever,
Can you
no matter
zoom
what
in
you
on
do.
I'm trying to.
added
It's not
100
zooming
amp.
very
You
well.
added another house worth of power. Like, that's a lot.
What's it? Command and up.
Try Command Plus.
Command plus sign on if you're on a Mac, Command plus to magnify.
Where the hell is the plus at? There it is.
By backspace.
There we go.
So that's behind the screen.
Dang, 3.
You got the 3 black swans, 621s, and then the 230.
So are you I've seen a lot of swan. Are you the first to do 3 swans or one
No.
of the few?
There's not many of us, but
I was gonna say I've seen a lot of presentations, literature, etc. with 2. I haven't seen many with 3.
So then
I
you
don't
got
know.
what-
They're out there, but they're
So-
unlike anything else. I mean, 117 dB sensitive, so I can hit reference with just a handful of watts. I mean, they're stupid speakers.
You,
So it looks like
he's wasting more energy idling than he's using.
Yeah.
So it looks like the left and the right are sort of angled in front of those are 21s right behind. It doesn't impact
Yes.
it doesn't impact the audio.
No,
the-
the bass
the
frequencies
subs.
don't care.
Okay.
They don't care.
Yeah, you could try to block that thing as long as it's not within a couple inches or whatever.
Yeah. They don't
No,
care.
I'm not even concerned about the bass being impacted. I'm more of the black swans.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you have the
Hey,
have
are
the
those-
sound
are
coming
those
from the
voice
black
swells,
swans, and you have those
crumpling,
21s just slamming at it from
Yeah, I
bass.
hear you. Okay, I know what you mean there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But have you seen those black swans? Man,
Yeah,
those
we
things
saw
are
them at
made out of,
Airwave, right? They
aircraft,
had- yeah.
the aluminum and the gold.
And they're a lot bigger than they look in that picture.
The gold that they had at Cedia,
Yeah, those
Yeah.
were cool.
I was like, oh,
And that was the team from
That's
Germany, right? That had those
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah, the what was there Mike
Yeah.
Cinemike.
Cinemite, yeah.
I like that
Yeah.
red. That red looks like looks infrared almost. Looks pretty cool.
Hmm.
So I did like
Yeah,
that.
the floor to ceiling, the screen that probably was one of the things that impressed me the most, man.
The
Man.
screen was born out of pure laziness
Oh wow.
because I didn't want to design a front wall.
Oh,
So I decided, okay, well, how can I get around that? Well, the easiest way to do that is just do the screen
color
wall to wall and
all
floor to
everything.
ceiling. And if it's too big, just mask it.
Yeah.
And
That was
to
the
the-
thought.
there's something about a screen literally being like, I've been at one of my friend Tons. He has a 100, relative to, some of the larger screens, 142-inch screen, right? And I have 150. His looks way bigger than mine because of his setup. It's floor to ceiling and wall to wall. It's just something about that is just, and even in your room, right? It's like, wow, it just looks, it's more immersive because it's to the floor. You know what I mean? So it's something about that is just perceptually, and they've done studies on that, right? Like the height gives you the scale, like and the height starts at the floor. So that's what gives you the scale, and your width gives you your immersion. So there's,
what was the choice behind
it
the
is a pretty
the
wild.
seating that you have? What was the choice behind it?
This couch already existed.
Okay.
So this couch we bought for the previous theater. And I love this couch. It's nothing special. It's just a
I
double
100%
chase couch.
agree with you on the couch thing.
But
I'm always going to.
I've tried theater chairs. I have tried all of this stuff, and we go back to the couch every time.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm a lounger. I don't like I'm curled up right now. I'm not sitting. I don't like sitting in a chair. I don't. I think it's because I'm a big guy that I'm so used to curling up because the world is not designed for me. So I'm used to having to sit certain ways and to being a man and told that you shouldn't be noticed. Like if you're being noticed, you're doing something wrong. So you're kind of like, okay, whatever. I'll just hide myself, especially because I'm a big guy. Like if I'm intimidating people, that's wrong. So I guess, learned to live small. And I lounge. A lot of times if I've been here by myself, legs are tucked up underneath me and I'm sitting on this one seat, but sometimes I'm laying down kind of across the couch. And chairs just are not comfortable. So there is one couch that a seating company that I may go to called Movia.
Gorgeous
I've
couch.
had enough expenses
I knew that's what you were going to mention.
Yeah,
the price point on those things.
Todd's he's working on me, but I've had too many expenses this year to pull the trigger on that. And so we'll see. I like this couch, and this couch isn't in the same price point as that Movia. So
what's the
I don't
movie?
know.
I haven't heard of I've heard of the.
Those are the ones that we saw at
Once
Cedia that
saw
you
at
sat in.
Cedia, man, the one you sat in, those
They're
expensive.
bespoke manufactured, all custom in Europe. They're
Yeah, they're German.
hand built.
The
I
Dutch.
sat in them. Which ones?
Remember
Movia was
only
sitting
good
in the
one out
Christie
there.
and Ascendo setup outside of the main theaters. That's all that seating out there was Movia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And all the seating in the Ascendo theater was Movia.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah, those are okay. Okay, yeah, those are pretty damn nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
they're
fall
very
asleep.
nice.
I'll
But-
fall asleep.
And what I
sitting
liked about
down.
those, they were like the comfortable. They weren't like.
The reason that I like them is because they have retractable chases. So this entire chase would retract up into being a normal chair. And then if I wanted to, the whole chase will deploy.
Well, that's cool.
So they also integrate into IP control. So I can hit a button and everybody's chases come out. I hit a button when the theater shuts down and all the chases come in so that it's easier to get out. So there's a lot of thought that has gone into them. I can put outlets anywhere in them. I can put HDMI ports. I can do all of this stuff. Whatever I want, I can do in that chair. But it comes with a price.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just not ready to pull that trigger yet. I will eventually. I'm just not there yet. That's the last piece. I do like this couch. But we'll make a change eventually.
Still got to make it the couch type though, because that
Oh yeah, I know which one I would do. I was very close to pulling the
Gotcha.
trigger,
Yeah.
but just haven't done it yet.
Okay,
It'll happen.
Yeah,
Probably next year.
Now I remember because I think you were like saying you went toward that one. I was like, oh yeah,
It'll happen.
The
Yeah.
quality
Just
of those chairs
next
that
year.
Yeah,
were
those chairs are.
the quality of those chairs that were outside where you saw the black swans, like the camo
Mhm.
color, it was something else for sure.
They're the end. They are the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely something to be sought after
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
like. I think it was like, is it the brown? Was it caramel color? It had some nice fun color they had there, man. But they're
Yeah.
not cheap.
Not at all.
They're
Not at all.
cheap.
Well, they had some, yeah, some of the, but they had some really fine leather on,
Mhm.
it didn't,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, handcrafted. Like that's like the pristine. If someone's making something like, simple stuff like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And it's kind of like, with my other hobby, right? Coffee, right? I can be like, I can drink out of a coffee mug that I can buy from Walmart, right? But I can also drink out of a coffee cup that someone literally handcrafted, hand painted. You know what I mean? That's one of a kind type of deal. And yeah, these chairs are that. Yeah. I'm glad you reminded me because I was like, wait, what? Where? What? You were like, dude, you sat in them. I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, those things are gorgeous.
I don't remember yesterday, let alone a couple months ago.
Yeah, hence the reason why we can't ever get the movies that you watch.
Yeah, exactly. I don't remember.
So Ryan, are you able to show us like the Christie and maybe like how your side speakers are set up, or do you have like
The Christie's not. You can't really see much,
okay.
unfortunately. It's hidden behind a bunch of insulation and hush boxes and stuff. The side speakers are all kind of hidden. They're not going to look any different than the speaker we saw at the very beginning.
Okay.
Every speaker looks the same, just in a different position. The top speakers you may be able to see. See if you can see this. I don't know if you can see that speaker. Kind of, I know it's the flares kind
Yeah,
of
the
washing it
light,
out.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know
So
if
let
you
me
can
ask you
kind
this:
of make that speaker out.
the room that you built inside of the room, how many feet off of the OSB? Do you have like a walkway that goes around?
No, it's not a walkway. It's somewhere between 12 and 16 inches.
Okay, so just enough to fit the speaker,
hmm
maybe a stand and a subwoofer, right? How wide are the? Do you have any subwoofers on the side?
There's no subwoofers on the side. There's 6 in the front and 21s, and there's 2 in the rear.
Okay,
So
Yeah.
there's 8 subs in the front and 3 in the rear total.
behind the 50.
So how does the room measure? Rumors is that it sounds like crap.
So the
tell
room,
us.
we're flat at 115 dB down to 5 hertz.
Damn.
And we didn't measure higher than that. We're going to start to run into compression with the ultra low frequencies. Probably, I don't know what we're getting for room gain because we're on concrete and stuff on most of the sides, but we're flat down to around 5. I think it was like 5.5 or 6 or something.
At a certain dB, it's like the opposite of room gain. It's like room negation.
Yeah.
So guys, I know you
So-
had some questions in here. We'll answer them in a minute. But
Yeah.
so what? Since you're flat down to 5 hertz at 100 and
Mhm.
how many dB? How many
115.
how many movies are you finding that you're really starting to like it may something you may have watched before, right? And then you go back and play it in this theater now that you're feeling the infrasonics.
There is infrasonics, quite a few. Down into single digits, very few. I can only think of a couple that are getting down that low. There's not a lot of material that does get down that low. But the material that does, it is mind-bogglingly different when you don't have the infrasonics going down that low. It feels like half the content is missing because you're missing all of the stuff that's holding it together. you're missing all of just the gelatin that's holding all of the material in place. That's how I look at the infrasonics. You're not really going to notice it. Like you're not paying attention because it's super low and the content's not like an explosion's like not just single digits. But it's when it's not there, you notice. When it's there, you're not paying attention to it. But when it's not there, you are paying attention to it.
Okay.
That's the
definitely
best
can
way I
understand
can
that.
describe it. The room. What's the best example I can for describing this room, especially in low frequency? It is unbelievably controlled. So when you go into something like Into the Black Hole from Interstellar, that is usually experienced as out of control, right? The room sounds like it's going to fall apart.
Right.
In this theater, it feels like the room is not going to fall apart. It doesn't even feel like you're in a room. It feels like you're in the ship. Like the room falls away and the room becomes part of the movie in that scene when they're going into the wormhole. So it's a different experience than a lot of people have had now that we've gone through the calibration, where I can't really explain it to you unless you've experienced it. It's just different. People have experienced it, I would assume, with your mid bass and your higher bass areas. It is unbelievably tight in those regions where the bass hits and it's gone. Decay in this room is universal around 100 milliseconds all the way across the board. It's almost too damped. I'd rather that be a little bit high, but I've gotten used to it. Sound does not linger in this space for very long. It hits and then it's gone. So, yeah, the best way to describe this room is unbelievably controlled. Our variance on low frequency across the couch is half a dB in every
Okay.
seat. We're using art and we're using waveforming. We can showcase both.
Well, so speaking of that, we'll go ahead and answer this question. So Rob says, why do you have both Storm and Trinoff?
Because it's an industry room and because I represent both, it allows us to showcase both, right? There's very few rooms, especially showrooms, that are of this level. And it allows us to act as showrooms for both of those products. But-
You ask why, I ask why not. Once you
But
add
it also allows us
why
to.
not two more commas? You know, like, hey.
But it also
yo.
allows us to do things like testing for both of those companies, where we're going to do things that maybe nobody else has done before and try and figure out the how and the why and all of that. So that's really why. And part of it, as Paul said, is why not? Why not
Yeah.
do that? Nobody has done that I'm aware of and has before switching like this. And it's showed us a lot. We've learned a lot from it. And I enjoy it.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. I did it mainly because I wanted to. I don't have a good excuse.
No, I understand because I wanted to kind of do the same thing with different brands of speakers to be able to switch back and forth. Right.
Mhm.
So I too wanted to do something like that, but not necessarily with the processor, but with different brands of
20,
speakers.
25 speaker switching,
Yeah.
with infrasonic, like, oh, this is a 64, this is an 80.
No, not quite that.
Which one do you want? Which one do you like?
I look, I'm not going to have the problem Ryan had because I have two French doors that open up huge and I could just roll the 80 right in, right? So
Sideways and at an angle, but at least it would fit.
No, I mean my doors are probably what I think I have the tall doors, so they're probably what the 9 or 10 foot doors, so I can just push it right through.
Yeah,
So
that's
but my wife would have a heart attack because that would go into the it's going to be a pre-theater area but you know,
She would be like, why are you taking down all our BDSM stuff? Like, I'm moving this up, man. I need all the straps I can get. Leave me
No.
alone, lady. I'll put them back when I'm done.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
God.
sub goes in, it's there to stay. It's not going anywhere.
So
No,
Ryan, you talked about working for Mad VR, right? So
Mhm.
you mentioned that you were off for that, you know, for that time period, and you know, how did you actually get involved with that?
with Mad VR,
Yeah.
I wanted to have them as a offering that I could do as a dealer, and Rick said no. So then it progressed from there. Is instead of selling Mad VR, I would work for them. So
Okay.
that's where that whole thing came about. And it's actually been great because it's opened a lot of doors. I've met a lot of people. I've
Yeah.
been in places like we talked about at the beginning that very few dealers actually find themselves in, because you're at dinners at CEDIA and stuff with other vendors. So I've built relationships with vendors that most dealers are not going to have access to. And it's frankly, I said this earlier, it's been a perfect storm. It's been very synergistic. I wouldn't change any of it. I've been very lucky with how the whole thing's played out. And
So are you I mean, look, we the Mad VR is a computer, right? So is that your background? Is that, you know, is that what you previously did? You know,
I was a network engineer for 10 years for the Department of Defense and large health systems. So I worked in IT, which made
Okay.
all of this very easy to dig into and understand. I mean, in IT, everybody thinks, man, you guys know so much. No, we don't. We just know how to rapidly assimilate and learn the things that we need to. And then I immediately forget it because that's what Google's for. So, yeah, I was in IT for a long time. And
Okay.
it gave me a really good understanding of how to do all of this stuff in home theater, good foundation, but also to how to do things and help do things at Mad VR.
Yeah, you
It's been
became a specialist, you know, and that in IT, that's you know,
yeah.
you got to know everything, but but you have so many product lines in your um portfolio,
Mhm.
and as far as being a dealer, like where is your you know main page? Where's your storefront? How do people contact you if they want to get a Mad VR? Do we have to go to Mad VR and say, oh yeah, well the only reason I bought it is because I you know heard him at M-Wave, you
So
know?
if you want to get a hold of me, the easiest thing is just go to ascendav.net and then use the contact links at the bottom. My phone number's down there. You can reach out to me. That's the
Cool.
easiest way to get in contact with
And
me.
you have the
Uh,
list of all, yeah, okay, scroll up here.
so if you
Scroll.
go to the partners page right
Yeah.
there, see all of the
And
partners.
here's
There's a link.
the products and the vendors
But if you hit that button, it'll take you to the full listing of all of them. These are the main ones, and then if you hit that button, it'll show you all of the ones I have access to. And there's some on there that I've access to that are not on there, but that gives you a pretty good,
Well, that's yeah. You got
broad.
Epson. You know, I like my Epson. You got obviously Christie and Trinov and Storm, so you can decide which whether you want the Lamborghini or you want the the Bugatti. Which one's which.
Yeah, it's all about choice and what fits best into a given situation. You need to have different tools in your toolbox to build different things. That's one thing is not going to be universally
Right.
beneficial or helpful. You've got to
Correct.
have different tools.
Yeah,
And
man.
you got
Look,
you need to, you got the Valencia seating, and you're gonna add to that. When is that gonna happen? And in February, you're gonna add the new fancy.
Movia, I can technically
seat?
already do it. It's just I don't have one. So
Yeah, I mean, just such a beautiful theater. So the there was a picture that I saw that we were looking at on the drive. The with the roof, the ceiling. It has. I guess this is like clouds. Is that what these are?
Yeah, they're hanging treatments, so there's 9 of them on the ceiling.
Okay, yeah, because it looked like
And they're very specifically angled, and I did
Oh
notice that.
Jesus, that was a huge pain in the ass.
I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty.
Because all of they're not squares.
no, they're all
We
like,
hated
specific.
Cameron and I hated Maurizio for how he designed these. They're not squares and they taper. So getting them to uniformly fit in the room was a huge pain in the butt. Enormous.
Yeah,
But we
hanging
made it
them.
work.
Yeah, because once you start getting to that non-straight, it being just a little bit off, it gets magnified by a
Yep.
lot.
Yep.
You did
But
it.
they-
You did
they
a
look
good
great.
job, because they I was like, okay, this is, I see it, and it does. I noticed that's one of the things that I noticed. It's like, oh wow, okay, these aren't square panels. This is, it makes you feel like you're more. It's the little things like that, right? You're in an experience. It's like you're tapering toward the screen. It's like, oh,
Mhm.
hey, this is the focal point,
Yep.
and that it does. Those little differences are a lot of people may
so
not
up here. Is this just the OSB up here? Is that
Yeah.
okay?
It's just painted OSB. And then there's lights sitting behind the center treatments that's reflecting off the ceiling, giving that
Okay.
look.
So
Yeah,
you didn't drywall the ceiling then?
I should have, but I didn't.
Should have you have though?
No,
I don't know.
I'm not saying you should. I was
Well,
The texture's cool. It would have been easier to finish and hide things if I did.
oh yeah,
but
that's
I
true.
didn't.
Whenever you're there in person, you do not.
you're not going to see it.
that
Yeah,
at
you don't
all.
see it.
This is.
I didn't even notice these gaps when we were here.
You did? No, I did, because it was an accent piece. I noticed it because I thought, oh wow, that's a cool detail.
I mean,
Because
look,
like
when
I
you
said,
walk in, you're
way it's
enamored by the 50-inch.
well,
ceiling,
yeah,
right?
yeah, okay, yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. And Ike had the gonads to sit back there next to it. I mean, it was like I was like,
that was my stress test for the year, man. After that, I was like, yeah, I'm good to go.
Oh man.
So man, you're gonna. I know Ryan's gonna have to. Your biggest sale is gonna be your blue pill that goes from 50 to 64. Like how do you do that? It's like, oh man.
Well, we
Be a
did have some
billionaire
questions, so
overnight.
let's see what we so MKH audio. This was back when we were doing the movie, so I apologize for just getting to this now, but suggest a movie with the best video audio quality, not too old.
Whew.
I'm going to say Furiosa.
Furiosa, yeah.
See, I'm not.
The
I'm
Mad
not.
Max saga.
Oh man, that's a tough one.
If you're doing both, video and audio.
What's too old?
I know, right? guess
I
that's
would
another
say
question.
let's just go 2010 and newer.
Ooh,
I'm just making
that's
that up
old,
because
man.
to me,
That's
I'm like
old.
That's old.
audio and video. I don't know.
How about Weekend?
I really liked. As far as my favorite movie is Ready Player One before it was demoed to death because of nostalgia. But that, as far as like audio,
Looks
and
fantastic in 3D and even better up converted too.
I wish I could see 3D. I probably would watch the hell out of that, especially whenever they're on the. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Probably
Like-
Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear.
Get out!
Such a
Oh,
bad
God.
movie.
Oh my god!
You got
Okay,
you
far
gotta be
as
using you gotta be
video and
using
audio-
the actual you gotta be using the actual thing to be able to enjoy
Well,
it.
see, so like audio, I really okay. Quiet Place, only because it just
That's
the
a
way the
fantastic choice.
mastering was done, the audio so fucking good. But then I was like, well, what did they do video wise that's amazing? And I'm like, I don't know. What do you consider video? The video quality was amazing, but you know,
I mean,
they didn't do
I like
anything.
13 hours. 13 hours. There's a lot of HDR in that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like that's what I'm saying. I would have just instantly gone to Quiet Place, but I'm just like, well, they didn't really do the video was amazing, right? It was perfect, but it wasn't like they invented anything new. But the audio and the atmosphere, like everything about that movie, audio wise, was really amazing, right? And it was one of the movies with the least amount of audio.
Yep.
You know,
No, I enjoyed the hell out. I mean, that's one of my favorite
audio
all-time
wise,
movies.
that's but audio and video wise, Quiet Place, the first one, hands down, audio wise. It's like, but that's when you start noticing shit, my fucking projector's like, goddamn, like what? I need a catch box. Like, son of a bitch, you know.
Ike's gonna say Sound of Music.
No, Weekend actually was one, and it's not. I don't know. I don't even know how I ended up watching that thing because
What is it?
Cheesy.
Weekend?
What?
Weekend from 2024.
Wicked. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh,
No.
Wicked. I thought you said Weekend. I was
No,
like,
not the
That's
Weekend
what I
at
Weekend.
thought it
Bernie's?
said too.
Like, dude, that's old.
No, not that one. But yeah, I actually thought. Now the reason why I don't just recommend it is because I don't think most people would enjoy the movie itself.
Right.
But
So the
it was like, ooh, okay.
The
This
three that I'm
Excluding
gonna
the
say-
storyline. Excluding the let's exclude
Ryan's
the
going
story.
through the kaleidoscope there.
I am.
He's cheating.
The three that I would say are crap. What was that movie? What did I have? I had a good one and then I forgot. Fury,
Okay. Brad Pitt.
Pacific Rim. Story's not great, but the video, the HDR demo, Pacific Rim's amazing. And
Yes.
the Atmos in it is very good.
Mhm.
And then the last one is Blade Runner 2049.
That's a good one. That is a good one
Okay.
for
Okay.
sure.
They bring, if we're not talking about story, is how I got
Yeah.
Pacific Rim in
Exclude
there.
the story because that's to each their own. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with those two.
You know what?
all
Video
very
wise,
demo.
honestly, I gotta say, I really like the lead of Battle Angel.
Yes, video wise, yes.
HDR. That thing is
I
just
really
on
like, and
point.
I know a lot of people think it was like too dull, but I don't know. I really like that.
Like
I don't know.
you think it looks good on your projector? Try watching that thing on an OLED, man.
Yeah.
On the OLED, it's a different ball.
What about oh man, what was the oh my god, it's one of the ones I use for the color. The kid that died and went to it was an animated series or animated movie cartoon. The kid, I can't believe it. I'm forgetting the name of the movie.
It's a Disney movie.
Where he played the guitar.
Yeah.
Oh, can't remember the.
I don't remember the name of that movie.
God dang, I can't.
Encanto?
No.
No, it was earlier than that. It was the before that one.
It's based in
Luca?
Mexico. He goes to the underworld. No.
Yeah, he goes to the underworld. Yeah, Coco. God, thank you.
Coco,
God damn. Everyone was like, you dumbass. You can't remember. Like, dude, I don't even remember the beer I just drank.
Yeah, that
Let
does
alone the
have good
movie I
HDR
watched.
in that
Like,
movie for sure.
Coco had a lot of color pop to
Mhm.
it. Like that, like on your projector, Ryan, dude, that
It looks
like, the
really good.
painting, when he first goes across the bridge and then looks out, that needs to be one of the demo scenes you have. Like, because that has every color. And
Yeah. That's a good one. Another good one is Top Gun Maverick for video and audio. But Coco is very good. I think Coco video and audio is very, very good.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next start question, which is this might be a question for you, Ryan. How bad is the motion on the NZ500 versus the LS 12,000?
With all motion interpolation off, they look nearly identical. So
I
the
hate
same.
motion and turbulation anyways, so
Is the NZ500 an upgrade over the NZ7?
Don't they have about the same lumen? guys?
Technically, its ANSI is better, and its native
That's right.
contrast is better, but it's not as
Mhm.
bright. I don't think it's worth changing. If you were my customer and you asked me that, I would tell you no.
Very
Save
good.
your money, spend it on your room, buy more subwoofers.
And
Yeah, I didn't know.
Derek says he's interested in seeing an anamorphic lens. What's the use case, Derek? Why?
I mean, anamorphic lenses are nice because you get more light. That's the benefit from them. You're gaining
yeah,
20% plus of light.
You're focusing the light that would otherwise be wasted. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a basic
So that's beneficial.
photography thing, or lens things. That's 100% true, like science stuff. I haven't had this one. This is vanilla. That'll beat it.
That looks
If you
like
got a
root
use
beer
case for an
bottle.
anamorphic lens, they are beneficial.
Yeah.
They can be
Yeah.
expensive.
I have one. I haven't installed it yet, so I'm just
But it's all relative to, changing your aspect ratio. If you're just a solid 4x3
scopes.
screen,
Yeah.
and all the content you have is 4x3, and there's nothing changing, do you really need an anamorphic lens? I mean, the lens isn't going to do anything at that point. So
you just increase. Like you said, you're using the full panel, so you're increasing your brightness.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I have mine because I didn't think my projector was going to be bright enough. But I'm going to put it on there and see. I won't be using. Obviously, I won't have to use the nonlinear stretch portion of the Lumigen at that point either. So, all right. So let's do the big reveal. So my guess for the cost.
Oh, Jesus. Hold on. I got to get another beer for this. Jesus Christ. She's getting ready to tell how much it's going to cost. I'm going to have to open another one. I told
What's
you
the MSRP of this room? I guess is the question.
MSRP of the room. I'm going to go.
Okay, I'm
I'm
gonna
going to go just under $1 million at $950.
MSRP?
Mhm.
Wait, are we talking okay, let's.
Are we talking?
Are we talking?
This is
build?
Equipment,
build everything.
labor,
Cost
are we
of the
talking
room.
equipment, or hey, this is how much it.
Do you know the total with labor and everything, Ryan?
I
Yes.
say
I know a ballpark with labor. Yeah.
I'll say
The
1.
labor.
I'll say
and
1.3.
install is like you might as well double the price.
So Ike is at 1.3. I'm at 950.
Oh man. God dang, dude. You guys are killing me now. Cause yeah, you're But there's
For the electronics, you might as well just double everything because it's in there twice.
Stop it. You're reaching into my like, dude, I'm like, no, I keep adding, and it's like, dude, and if you add the labor to make those electronics work,
Yeah. And
it's
it was
like,
a lot of labor.
because I know, because I'm
Derek
that guy.
says
I'm one
1.5
of
with
those
labor.
guys, and it's
Sign
like,
in, guys. In
my
the
one
chat.
part would be
Todd 1.5. Got 2 at 1.5.
It's kind of
I'm gonna
disheartening when I think about it.
I'm gonna go 1.3 and $1.
Well, are you going to price this right, Ike?
Yeah. Oh, are you at 1.3, Ike?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I
all
chose.
right,
You
all
gotta
right.
find
Tell me
something
I'm
else.
tell me I'm way tell me how poor I am, Ryan. Because I don't understand the expenses. All right, I
You
got
can
it
pick
though.
50,
All right,
50, 50
So
we got
the-
grand.
we
I
got
don't have
2.1 from Corey.
Jesus
Let him chime
Christ.
in. Let
That's
him
too
chime in real
much.
quick.
But the it always is disheartening to sit in here and try and calculate an MSRP value, because the room, when I was going through the process, I'm like, oh, it's not bad. We'll just do more and more and more and more and more and more and more, and that just kept going into more and more and
Yeah.
more. And I'm surprised my wife didn't divorce me multiple times, especially when I went up and told her we were buying the projector that I was getting. And she didn't just look at me and say no and then hand me her ring and leave. But she didn't. So here we are. Um, I don't have an exact, like, down to the dollar. I have a ballpark of where it sits. I probably do need to calculate it out and get like an exact figure, but the ballpark is somewhere between 1.2 and 1.3 million.
There you go.
Close
You
enough.
went
So-
over. You got you.
I
you-
went over.
you-
Hey, I would admit I went over.
I went 950. So
I
I
don't
would
know
have
what you were
said
thinking. man.
1.2.
I win
and
the
a
trip.
dollar.
I win the
would've
trip.
Gave myself a win.
I don't know what you were thinking with 950.
But I went over. I went over with the. I went over with the
I mean,
dollar.
I'm not far off. You know, I mean,
You
a couple
know.
hundred grand. When you're up in
Oh yeah, what's that? Just
Yeah,
Oh,
just
dude,
another
yeah.
$500,000.
Ryan was. I was like, dude, that one friggin' switching wall is like.
Yeah, no, I was gonna try.
80 grand right there. Because
I thought it was gonna be over $1 million, but I was like, you know what? It might just be.
yeah,
just
when you
barely
start
be under.
considering labor and stuff, it gets out of control really fast.
Mhm.
Because I spent hours just sitting here staring at a wall trying to think about how I was going to do it. So even in the design stage, for how long we were in that, things start rapidly adding up, because all
And
of these companies and stuff that are doing these theaters, they're going to charge you for all of that. Oops, my lights turned off.
and it's a tough thing because it's like how I explain it. It's like it's really like, okay, I can do like a recent project I did, and this is like COVID era, right? I was like, hey, I want to do like one of these resin friggin' water tables, right? And everybody sees all the YouTube videos and how easy it is, right? It's like, but resin is like $150 for like a half a gallon or something like that. So it's like, well, okay, let me spend $150 to learn how to pour resin, and then to be able to basically it cost you. Sure, if you were a perfectionist in that field already, it's like, no, I'm not going to pay someone to pour a resin table for me. I can do it friggin' tomorrow for like pennies on the dollar. But if you don't know how to do it, okay, it's going to take you $700-800 just to learn that. So if you're not the type of person that, hey, I want to learn this new skill, I'm having fun doing this thing, which goes back to why we're all here. We're having fun. We're all audio video buddies. I've been to Ryan's like multiple times, and that we've been to Ian's house multiple times. Now I'm usually the guy that brings the best drinks, but
your Welch's cranberry and great beer.
Flavored drinks.
Yeah.
So real quick, Big Jack says, is the Chernoff CI available for purchase yet? Right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I saw that question,
don't-
and I was
yeah.
wondering, dude,
It is
the
not.
new Chernoff is, dude, that's pretty freaking cool. I do like that. That's cool. But it's just
So-
one of those things, like labor and all the products. It's like you don't know unless you're in each one of those fields. The minute I think it was Tom from Maybe Rant that said, the minute you say it means you don't understand the complexity of what is all involved. Oh, it's just putting in a speaker. you know,
You say
si-
it's just a
64-inch
friend.
speaker. It's a lot more.
He's just a
to
friend.
just there's
Oh,
just
baby.
8 screws on that subwoofer, you know. It's like, well, yeah, you could say that.
So the equipment that you need to run 2 processors.
Hmm.
What are the name brands of those that you have?
The switches,
Yeah.
they're made by a company called Bobwire. You can get them off Amazon.
Okay. And basically you're just switching 2 channels, right? Is you're feeding in each individual channel,
Hmm.
and then those will do the automatic switching for you.
So it's one speaker out and then 2 processors in.
Okay.
So it can be 2 in, 1 out, or 1 in, 2 out,
And
depending
is
on
that
how you
app
wire it.
controlled? How is that?
12 volt.
12 volt.
Yep.
All right.
That
Cool.
product did not exist when I started this. I got very lucky that came out because it was exactly what I needed, and he released it at the right time. And they will handle up to 200 watts. They're excellent. They're invisible. They work exactly how they should. I have no problems with them. They work great.
That's cool.
Awesome.
It-
So Big Jack, he was talking about the folding headrest on the couch. Like, I want to touch back on the couch again because I mean I have a couch in the bottom, or for the bottom row, and then theater seats in the top row. That way I can do both, right? I will tell you that the couch is too comfortable. I fall asleep. I will start to fall asleep.
How
in
do
the
you
couch.
fall asleep watching a movie?
Dude? I can crank that thing to 11, and it will still. I can still fall asleep. It doesn't.
I've
matter.
never fallen asleep in here.
It
Granted, I
doesn't
don't
matter.
fall asleep unless I'm in my bed,
Yeah,
and I don't nap, so maybe that's why.
you turn the movie off, but you don't fall asleep.
dude. I
You're
I
like,
literally woke up to some crazy Atmos scene going on in the Unicorn movie yesterday, and I had to rewind it. I was like, "Oh, I gotta watch that."
wow,
It woke me up.
I thought you said, oh, you said the story was, and you know, that might be a really cool movie, and now I'm gonna have to watch it just because it sounds cool.
I mean, look, the audio. I went back and watched the audio.
Is it on
and,
disc or?
yeah, it should be out on disc already. Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just going back through to make sure that we don't miss anything. Ike is playing us off like the Emmys here. So
My lights went out. That's the only reason I know how late it is.
That was what reminded me. As soon as I saw his lights, I was like,
You're like, oh man, it's after hours.
Please
This
like,
is after
share,
after
subscribe.
hours. You know, this is anything goes.
all right, well, listen. I
Well,
think
hey,
we got
I
all the
want to say
questions.
congratulations, Ryan. It is. I'm glad because I heard, I seen this, and I was like, dude, like what, why, what? But I was like, the only situation is this, and yeah, that's exactly what it was. So the fact that you're doing and getting clients, customers, you know, to, you know, experience this, you know, where they couldn't otherwise. That makes sense to me. And I'm all for that. It's like, hey, I'm not trying to say you need this, but hey, some people, you know, it's like, hey, I can afford a 200-inch subwoofer. But, you know,
Doesn't mean you should.
64-inch subwoofer, you know, it's like, you know, it's just experience, right? And you can provide with ease as long as you're, you know, able to go to your experience, the Ascend AV experience room. With ease, you're able to provide an experience that otherwise would not be able to be provided. And in that case, and if that's the promotion and stuff, I'm all for that. Just like, you know, Scott and Cat with the DB thing. It's like, dude, I used to compete in audio and DB stuff too. And it's like, no, you don't need any of this, but this is just fun and we're just having a good time. Right. And once he said, no, I don't watch movies at 150 dB. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, that's my guy. Yeah, it's like, yeah, hey, flex. And your room is, I wouldn't even call it a flex. It's just more of an experience and a comparison, because you have multiple products. You have Trinop, you have Storm, you obviously have the room treatment. And to me, the room treatment and the room, uh,
Design.
what's the fancy name for the room?
Officina Acustica.
Appuccino? Appuccino?
Officina Acustica.
Appuccina. Okay, I wanted to add the O at the end. That's why I can't remember Appuccino. That
Just
right
remember
there,
your cappuccino.
Appuccino. It's like, yo, hey, Appuccino. But that to me is probably one of the most beneficial things that people will underestimate in your particular room and your experience, because
Yeah.
like you said 50, 60, dude, I'm telling you, I as an engineer, and dude, the room, when we're talking small, like normal house living, it's like 80%. That sound treatment, and
Yeah.
that is
It's
like,
a big deal.
I would go to 80%.
The biggest thing behind the room is just allowing people to have a benchmark. Most
Yeah.
people don't have a benchmark. They don't have the experience to know what they want, what they don't want. All they have are their experiences at big box stores. And
Oh,
them
yeah.
coming here isn't using this as a selling tool. I don't push anything on them. It's more of, I tell them, you got to come here because you got to figure out what you want.
Yeah.
You got to figure out what you, and we talked about this earlier in the stream, what you desire. That's
Yeah.
what this is about. So
Yeah.
having the bottom of the rabbit hole allows you to figure out, where do I want to take away from if I don't want to spend this much? And then
Yeah.
and you know with confidence that you're going down a pathway that you know is for you. Instead of guessing, you now know what you need.
Yep.
And that's what this is all about.
You can experience what you have, and then hopefully if you're shopping in that way, you can experience one or two other rooms, and you'll instantly know, oh yeah, this is the experience I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So Ryan, let me ask you this: we talked about Ascend AV, right? Are you selling equipment, or are you helping more for the DIY crew, or are you designing theaters? That I'm not sure about. So we didn't really talk
All of the
about that.
above. All of
Okay.
the above. It's really whatever's needed. I just don't want people reinventing the wheel. And I tell people, if I don't know the answer, I'll go find it for you. And that's why I've surrounded myself with the people that I've surrounded myself with. And the brands that I surround myself with are not brands that I think are just going to be beneficial monetarily. They're brands that I would use, is what it comes down to. They're brands that I trust and I offer for a reason. So I believe in everything that I sell. And I will tell you if I think you're doing something and what you're compromising on, even if it's something I believe in. Let's say you're comparing two projectors. I'll tell you, if you do this, you're compromising on this. If you do this, you're going to gain this. I think you should do this, even though it's more expensive, because this is what your room needs. Or I think you're wasting money doing that because you don't need that. And you can choose to do what you want, but I want to make sure that when I go to bed at night, that I know that I've done my due diligence in trying to guide people ethically to the culminations of their journey. I'm not trying to get into somebody's wallet. I'm trying to get them the best experience they can have. And that's what's important. It doesn't matter if I blow a sale up because I tell somebody no, that you're wasting your money, regardless of how much that was. My son asked me a couple weeks ago, he said, or maybe it wasn't my son, maybe it was my nephew. He said, you would tell somebody not to buy something even if they were going to spend $1 million. And I said, if it meant they were wasting their money, I would absolutely tell them that, because I would want somebody to do the same thing for me. Now, how many people would do that? I don't know. But
Not very many.
I look at it as, if I tell somebody no now, because it's what I think is correct, that relationship and that trust escalates. And the hope is that further on down the road, they can relay me to somebody else and say, hey, I trust this guy because he told me no. I mean, that's
Yep.
my business
Yeah.
directive. That's what I believe in. Is I'm not in this for the short run.
I'm
I'm
the
in this
same
for the
way.
long run.
I made it as a sales engineer, but not as sales. You know, I could tell you. You ask me what you need, I can give you the products that will do what you're asking for versus a salesperson is like, well, I'm told to promote this one product. Well, they're not
Right.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's not even capable, or it's way over what they need.
Yep.
And yeah, that's a fine line, and I get it. You know, it's all about having fun, and in some aspects it's like, hey, I just want the coolest and latest thing, you know, and that's not the type of person that would buy from me, because I'm like, well, okay, you want the flashiest whatever, like, okay, if you just want to show off, I don't know, because you know, tomorrow it'll be something different, you know.
Yep, for sure. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show, but listen, make sure you guys go over to ascendav.net and then click the contact button. It'll give you all
Sell
Ryan's
anything
information.
smaller than 31 inches.
Click the contact button. It'll take you right down to his information. Not only that, but make sure you go over to the AV Experience YouTube page and give Ryan a sub. He's trying to build out the channel, and I mean, look, I'm enjoying the live streams. I think you're doing them like every other day, or you know, every.
I'm
3
doing a
days.
couple a week. I mean,
Yeah,
and frankly, I don't really care if the channel's successful. I'm not in this to try and be a YouTube star. I've done the Twitch streaming star. I mean, at one point we were doing, it was kind of a niche flight sim. There weren't very many people. I was the biggest channel for that sim by a significant margin. I'm not in this to do that. I am in this to just try and make sure that people aren't reinventing the wheel on their journey. I could care less about the subs. I don't care.
No idea you had your own. I was like, it was so long. I only know you and the Jonathan. I had no idea you had your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until
and
today,
speaking
right
of
now,
Jonathan,
I was like, oh, I didn't
Jonathan
know.
was in the chat also. So Jonathan, make sure you guys go over the Jonathan's channel if you haven't already, where they both stream the live the AV Experience. I guess it's the combo of the edition now, right? It's not the solo edition.
Yeah,
Oh.
the AV Experience is Jonathan and I, and then the solo is just me. I just kind of made something up. The AV Experience is broadcast to multiple channels. It is what it is. But Jonathan would say the same thing, that we're not in this for notoriety. We're in this because we enjoy the space, and we enjoy relationships. We enjoy talking to other people about it, and we don't want people to make the same mistakes we did. Both of us are on journeys, and there's no sense in people having to go through the same pitfalls that we did, unless they want to. I think every pitfall and every failure is a learning experience. But if we can provide guidance so that people aren't at least spending the dumb money that we were and then wasting it and doing it again, that's the benefit. So that's really what we're trying to do. I'm not in this for YouTube fame, because I don't care about that. I just do this because I love it. I don't ever feel like I'm working, and I'm happy that I found the place that I have. It's opened a lot of doors, and I enjoy every day.
I enjoy the show and listening to all of Jonathan's camping adventures.
Oh God!
Reminds me of Robin Williams in RV.
Oh man!
So yeah,
I love giving him crap. We'll be heading to Iowa here in the next couple weeks, so I'm sure I'll have stories about that endeavor that we can all laugh about.
And one last thing that I want to remind
Jonathan's
you
a great
about,
guy.
he
He's
definitely is. He's been a great.
I would say
host.
he
I
is
went
the
to his
reason
house.
for a lot of this in roundabout ways, because he kind of sent me down that journey with that first home theater experience, and I I've said this a couple times, but how many degrees away is everybody from Jonathan in this home theater hobby? And I think we're all a lot closer than we think we are.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. One last reminder.
Uh-oh.
Hey,
Why can I not hear you anymore?
We can hear you.
the M Wave is coming back. So
Let me rejoin.
no problem. So I guess Paul dropped off, but M Wave is coming back. So it's going to be on general admission from the 18th through the 20th, and then VIP tours will be the 16th and 17th. So I've been to M Wave several times, 2 times. Can't wait to get back. Definitely enjoy that. Let's go ahead and add Ryan back. Oops, sorry. Yeah, definitely enjoy going to M Wave. So make sure you guys are purchasing your tickets to go to M Wave. And if you when will the VIPs be announced, Ryan? Do you know?
Probably in the next week or two is when I would assume they're going to be announced. And this year, all of that money, does cost money to go to the VIP tours because it is a lot of work for the guys, and they're opening their
course.
homes up. Their families are putting up with it. All of the money that you spend on a VIP ticket goes to that person that you're buying the ticket from. I'm not taking anything. It all goes to that person's endeavors.
Everybody catching shade, Chuck. Chuck, you're still awake, huh? Everybody catching shade. No, look, I did the VIP tours. I did 3 of them. I had a fantastic time. I will say, if you can, put a map out, like where people's, you don't want to give their address, but just like general vicinity. That way you can kind of plan your day, right? If I may do this tour, because some of them are pretty spread out, right? So
Yeah.
I found myself trying a little bit of time crunch on getting to a couple of them.
You can buy tickets now, right?
Not
You
yet
can
for
buy
the VIP.
tickets now. The VIPs aren't open yet.
Oh, oh yeah, okay. So the home theater.
Yeah, and then we dropped the ticket price from $75 to $50.
I mean, for 3 days of entertainment, that's a fucking steal. I don't care what
Oh
anybody
yeah,
says.
yeah, it is.
It's fantastic. You know, I mean, I'm sure you understand that people got to pay to get themselves there and all that, but I mean, 50. I think you could charge $100 for this, and it would be worth it all day long.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, still want
So-
it to be accessible.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, if you could give us a solid date on those VIPs, you know, maybe through your community page, prior to them
Yeah.
going up, because I know your room is going to sell out quickly. So is Jonathan. So
I think my room sold out. Jonathan's room sold out in a couple minutes last year. My
Yeah.
room sold out in about that. So we'll announce it for sure because they will go very, very quickly.
I may need a backstage pass, sir. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Don
And
is
the main
about to
reason they go
Don
really
is about
quick,
to cash up you tonight.
the main reason they go really quick is because there's only so many tickets per slot for how many seats we have.
Yeah.
So
there's
my
only-
theater has 4.
Yeah.
And if I do 3 slots, that means only 12 people are able to see it,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But I can't do any more than that because it creates too much traffic, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So-
For sure. We understand for sure. You know, I mean, you know, just I don't know, just open it up the whole week for everybody, you know.
Oh,
Yeah. You know, just
Tickets, please, tickets. All right, everyone. Just like as always, please like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification for us. And one last thing, if you would like to be a guest on the show, please shoot us an email to hometheaterhublive@gmail.com. Once again, that's hometheaterhublive@gmail.com. Ryan, we definitely appreciate you taking time out. I know you're yawning over there, so definitely
past my
appreciate
bedtime.
you taking time out today and showing us your lovely theater. And you know, we love to promote people in the industry. There's room for all of us. You know what I mean? So
oh yeah.
we definitely wish you the best with the business and with M Wave. So appreciate you so much.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on. It's always fun. Enjoyed talking about the space and enjoy sharing that time and enjoyed talking to all of you.
Awesome. All right. Well, if you just hang out real quick, we're going to end the stream. Thank you, everyone, for
And,
joining us this evening.
Make sure you're at M Wave because we'll be there.
Absolutely.
Oh,
And I'll pay for my ticket because kind of friend I am.
I paid for mine last time too,
It
even
will.
though I was press. So
That's not a friend.
Support the cause. Support the cause.
Yeah, exactly. You
For
know,
sure. Yep.
friends don't ask friends for free. It's like, hey, are you supporting me or not?